Chapter 2179 Resolution. Chapter 2179 Resolution. Emo realized. At the spot distribution gathering, there was an Aquarius Tao Essence Divine Emperor who wanted to challenge him, but because of his threats, they backed out for some reason. Now that an Aquarius God rank Divine Emperor wanted to challenge Qin Xuanji, it was clearly to give him a warning. Being killed on the God rank challenge stage was something that no one could get revenge. The reason that Gong Xiang dared to attack Luo Qinghe was Bo's human race was too weak and they had no leader. Now that human race had a leader Emo, they needed a proper reason. Then, did the Aquarius race Tao Essence Divine Emperor attack? Emo asked. Qin Xuanji said. They didn't attack directly, but a Tao Essence Divine Emperor was extremely furious. He said that I shamelessly ambushed during the battle and threatened me that the Aquarius race wouldn't let this go. I knew the Aquarius race was powerful and resisted the urge to argue with him. Another human race Down Nourishment Divine Emperor on the side said that the Aquarius race started the challenge and lost. Then, their Tao Essence Divine Emperor comes out, they're really shameless. Luo Qinghe saw Emo looked at him, and he added, that Down Nourishment Divine Emperor is Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect Yuehe Divine Emperor. She said that, and the Aquarius race Tao Essence Divine Emperor was furious and just killed her. Qin Xuanji said dejectedly. Seeing someone speak for me and get killed, I immediately attacked that Tao Essence Divine Emperor. However, this was all calculated. That Tao Essence Divine Emperor seemingly killed Yuehe Divine Emperor in anger, but he was waiting for me to attack. In fact, even if Martial Sister Xuanji didn't attack, Martial Sister Nanshuang charged up already. Luo Qinghe sighed. Then Emo thought and asked, did more and more people from both sides join the battle, eventually getting to that situation? Yes. The two nodded. Seeing Wang Nanshuang come over here, Emo immediately said, Qinghe, Xuanji and Nanshuang, come with me to the Void Marketplace guest hall. Pil Divine Yi, I'll go with you too. It was a human Tao Essence Divine Emperor speaking. At the battle, one was him and the other was the Great Sun God Mountain Tao Essence Divine Emperor. The Great Sun God Mountain Tao Essence Divine Emperor seemed to know Emo detested him and didn't come over. Luo Qinghe said, Martial Brother Yi, this is Su Feng Qianbei, who has always been staying in the Void Marketplace. We've all been taken care by him many times. Okay, then you four come with me. Emo then called Dong'an and Xian Yishu over for them to gather the humans at the square to distribute the spots after he was done. Because of this, more and more human races cultivators came to the square. Pil Divine Yi, I'm late, count me in. Xiao He landed in here with a dashing light. He was very annoyed that he didn't go to the battle. If he could help the human race kill a bunch of Aquarius race Divine Emperors, Emo would be very grateful to him. He didn't think about the terrifying consequences of doing this. Emo didn't want to bring Xiao He originally, but seeing him come, Emo changed his mind. The Void Marketplace guest hall was the most important place for meeting guests in the Void Marketplace. Usually, when the powerful beings of different races came, the guest hall would be open to greet them. Now, it became the grounds to resolve conflicts. Everyone knew the conflict couldn't be resolved like this, but since they were all at the Void Marketplace, those mass battles wouldn't be allowed. The God Rank Square was filled with formation and restrictions, and that's why the place was still intact. If it was somewhere else, maybe the entire Void Marketplace would be destroyed. When Emo and them came, there were already more than 10 Divine Emperors sitting in the hall. Other than Kong Han Divine Emperor and 5 Aquarius race Tao Essence Divine Emperors, there were 6 people from other races. Emo saw that the Aquarius race Tao Essence who lost half his body had recovered his body. His chi was still unstable, but he was clearly recovering. Emo thought to himself, it seemed the Aquarius race had quite a lot of good things. After Emo and them sat down, Kong Han Divine Emperor said, such thing happening in the Void Marketplace affects us greatly. I invited 6 immortal friends who watched to come over. I hope people can talk things out and not let such thing happen again. Luo Qinghe saw Emo glance at him, so he immediately got up and saluted with his fists. Kong Han Divine Emperor Master, immortal friends, although everyone knows the cause of this incident, I'll still say it again. Luo Qing had just told the truth and sat back down. No one objected to Luo Qing's words, not even the Aquarius race Tao Essence Divine Emperors. There were this many people who saw what happened. Even if nobody saw it, there was still the huge surveillance formation. Despite this, Kong Han Divine Emperor still asked, "Does the Aquarius race have any objections to this?" The Tao Essence who lost half his body got up and said, "That's what happened indeed, but when Pill Divine Yi came I already called stop. However, Pill Divine Yi still killed like crazy. I hope Pill Divine Yi can make an explanation to this. The Aquarius race has been around for hundreds of millions of years. If we don't get a resolution to this, we won't let this go." Clearly the Aquarius race had no reason, and just because they were strong, they dared to say such things. Kong Han Divine Emperor sneered. He wasn't going to care about the conflict between human and Aquarius race. At the same time, he was unhappy with Emo. Before Emo appeared, the human race Divine Emperors were very timid. Even if they were abused, no one would dare to have massive race fights like this. The reason the human race dared to do this time was definitely due to Emo. Kong Han Divine Emperor still looked at Emo and said, "Pill Divine Yi, you represent the human race. Do you have any words to what immortal friends Yaopu said?" Emo answered plainly, "Oh, I really didn't notice Yaopu saying stop. But I'm very curious. Yaopu was on the battlefield himself. If he's telling me to stop, then why is he fighting with a human race Tao Actualization Divine Emperor? Is he not strong enough that he got suppressed by my human race Tao Actualization Divine Emperor, or is he just asking the human race to stop, not the Aquarius race? If that's the case, I understand. So he's asking the human race to raise our hands and get slaughtered by the Aquarius race. If that happens again and I hear it, I will do as Yaopu said. I will ask my fellow humans to stand still and let the Aquarius race kill them all." Qin Xuanji almost laughed at this. Yaopu's face was extremely bleak, and he didn't talk about to Emo. Kong Han acted as though he didn't hear the sarcasm in Emo's words and nodded. "Since both sides became like this due to a misunderstanding, then make a decision." Yaopu got up and said again, "The Aquarius race is a big race and we don't want to cause bloodshed all over a realm. If Pill Divine Yi destroys his own power, then this thing will end." The leader of the human race now was Emo. If he lost his power, then the human race would be abused however they liked. Emo's predicament would also become extremely pitiful. Yaopu's words meant that he wanted to kill all the humans in the Void Marketplace. Kong Han Divine Emperor then asked, "What does Pill Divine Yi think of immortal friends Yaopu's request?" Emo got up slowly. "Yaopu's request is very reasonable. Maybe one day when I'm in a bad mood I'll remember this." Kong Han Divine Emperor nodded again too, and continued to ask, "What requests does Pill Divine Yi have?" Emo smiled. "I'm very easy to talk to. I don't dare to make requests now. When I'm in a bad mood and I think about this, I will go to the Aquarius race and stomp my foot a few times." Kong Han Divine Emperor then looked at Yaopu and asked, "What does Yaopu Divine Emperor think of Pill Divine Yi's request?" "Very well." Yaopu forced down his anger and said. This was his first time seeing such a cocky human Tao actualization. Hearing this, Kong Han Divine Emperor got up and smiled. "Very well, everyone is very calm on this matter and agreed to each other's requests. This is a perfect resolution. I hope both sides won't cause trouble again in the Void Marketplace. At the same time, both sides need to pay 1 billion God crystals for compensation of damages. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2180 The Conditions for Repairing the Broken Realm. Chapter 2180 The Conditions for Repairing the Broken Realm. Emo walked out of the guest palace speechless. This Kong Han Divine Emperor really knew how to do nothing. But it was natural. As long as the human and Aquarius race didn't keep fighting in the Void Marketplace, he didn't care if the two sides could resolve the conflict. "Emo, you better hope the Divine Tao Realm can protect you. Otherwise, even if you run back to the Divine Tao Realm, the Aquarius race will go over." Don't make that broken realm even more broken. Yaopu was waiting for Yemo at the doors with a few other Tao Essence Divine Emperors. This time before Yemo said, "Chiao," he said in contempt. "Very well, I welcome you to go. If one goes, I'll kill one, if two goes, I'll kill two." Hearing this, Yaopu frowned. "What does this have to do with the Guanyuan Palace? Chiao He, do you know the consequences of saying this? Is the Guanyuan Palace going against the Aquarius race?" Chiao He said in contempt. "Go against the Aquarius race? You can represent the Aquarius race? Keep dreaming. I can represent the Palace Lord and kill you, but do you dare to start war with the Guanyuan Palace representing the Aquarius race?" Yaopu's face was green and he turned to leave. Yemo said slowly, "Aquarius race coming to the Divine Tao realm? You must not disappoint me then. If too little go, then don't blame me for going to the Aquarius race for a spin." Yemo didn't care much about the threat of the Aquarius race. He heard that they only had one primordial essence Divine Emperor, and one who hadn't been out for countless ages. Even if Zhu Wuheng's father can't go back to the Divine Tao realm, then he would ask Guanyuan Palace Lord to stop the Aquarius Primordial Essence Divine Emperor. As for those below Primordial Essence, Yemo really wasn't scared. If he reached Tao Essence, then he didn't fear no matter how many Aquarius race came attacking Divine Tao realm. Yaopu was very annoyed. He knew humans had no primordial essence, but Guanyuan Palace Lord was a primordial essence. He was famous amongst primordial essence. If he infuriated Guanyuan Palace, his threats would be useless. Even the Aquarius race had to consider things if Guanyuan Palace Lord became involved. The reason Aquarius race could become a huge race was because they had a sea-setting God Needle and Primordial Essence Divine Emperor. If something happened to their Primordial Essence Divine Emperor, the Aquarius race was nothing. Yemo and them went back to the God Rank Square. There were nearly 10,000 humans waiting for them. When they saw Yemo come over, they immediately stopped discussions. In the Void Marketplace, Yemo was the core of the human race, their confidence to stay in the Void Marketplace. Yemo set up a few restrictions and formations enclosing this area before saying, "In the battle just then, our human race lost tens of divine emperors, but we're united in the Void Marketplace and didn't lose face. In this battle, we've gotten more than 100 storage rings and some small worlds. There are many cultivation resources inside. I'll let Qinghe Divine Emperor distribute these to you later as compensation. Pil Divine Yi, you killed most of the Aquarius race. We can't take these cultivation resources," someone said immediately. Su Feng got out and said, "Pil Divine Yi, these storage ring are pretty much your battle loot. If it wasn't for you, not many divine emperors would have even survived." Su Feng wasn't bullshitting on this. When Kong Han Divine Emperor came to stop the battle, the Aquarius race had the lower hand. If the human race had the lower hand, would Kong Han Divine Emperor come out in time to stop them? No one knew. A Tao Actualization Peak Stage Divine Emperor bowed to Yemo and said, "Pil Divine Yi, the reason that the human race can even speak here is completely due to Pil Divine Yi. Otherwise, we will have no right to talk. Pil Divine Yi selflessly took out 30 Tao Fruit Tower spots to share between us. I was lucky to get one. For us humans who stay in the Void Marketplace long term, not having a leader is the scariest thing. We beg that Pil Divine Yi be the leader of the human race, and please tell us if there are any other requirements for entering the Tao Fruit Tower." This Tao Actualization Peak Stage didn't even talk about the battle loot, but everyone could tell that the reason human race had some status was due to Yemo. If they still wanted a share of the loot, it was too over the line. Yemo understood what this Tao Actualization Divine Emperor meant. He thought of a while. His original plan was that all Tao Actualization Divine Emperors who entered the Tao Fruit Tower and got Tao Fruits would need to give some back to everyone. The way of giving back was for him to concoct pills. At the same time, those HWO wanted to go and had to pay some God crystals. But after that battle, Yemo's mindset changed. The reason he wanted to take part of the Tao Fruits and God crystals was mainly for himself. But now, he felt he needed to think for the human race. The human race's status in the Void Marketplace was low to a new extreme. He needed to think of ways to change this situation. Martial Brother Yi, the divine Tao realm is broken. Even if you help the human race this time, what about next time? I feel that the human race need to gather and work together to defend against other races, Luo Qinghe said. He knew what the weakness of the human race was. The reason they weren't gathered was because they didn't have a leader. Now that Yemo appeared and got everyone's approval, Yemo had to stand up. Yemo knew what Luo Qinghe meant. If it wasn't that the divine Tao realm was so broken, he was planning to have a sect in the divine Tao realm. Why would he go back to the immortal realm? Yemo sighed. Pity the divine Tao realm is broken and can't be repaired. Otherwise, I would suggest everyone to go back to the divine Tao realm and have a home. The divine Tao realm was broken. If these divine emperors went back, where would they get the cultivation resources? Qin Xuanji suddenly walked up to Yemo and bowed. Martial Brother Yi, it's not impossible to repair the divine Tao realm. Qin Xuanji's words shocked not only Yemo but everyone else. Divine Tao realm was the highest level realm, and it said that the battle royale of primordial essence divine emperors was what broke the divine Tao realm. Luo Qinghe said desperately. Martial Sister Xuanji, how to repair the divine Tao realm? As long as there's something I can do, I will do everything I can, Qin Xuanji said. The primordial essence divine emperors fought over the chaos tree and used the divine Tao realm as a battlefield. That's what broke the divine Tao realm. Later, I realized that the battle wasn't just over the chaos tree. Yemo's face went serious and said, Be more specific. Yes. The primordial essence divine emperors of different races used the opportunity of fighting for the chaos tree to set the battleground at the divine Tao realm. The primordial essence divine emperors of the divine Tao realm were in conflict, and no one cared about this. In the wake of the chaos tree, everything else didn't matter. In the end, more and more primordial essence divine emperors came to the divine Tao realm. When the divine Tao realm was shattered, those few human primordial essence divine emperors woke up, but it was too late. It said that there were still 5 human primordial essence divine emperors at the divine Tao realm. Those 5 primordial essence divine emperors were killed by the joined forces of other race primordial essence divine emperors. I don't know if people got away, but even if some did, their cultivation foundation would have been destroyed. What about the primordial essence divine emperor of other races? Luo Qinghe asked. The other primordial essence divine emperors were heavily injured. That's why there are rarely any primordial essence divine emperors these days. They're all either perfecting their own world or recovering, Qin Xuanji said. Yemo said slowly, Tell us how to repair the divine Tao realm first. Qin Xuanji nodded. The news I got was that the divine Tao realm meridian was broken. In order to repair the divine Tao realm, one had to use the world mountain as the divine Tao realm's meridian, and use the world tree to provide the divine Tao realm with life force. Only that would repair the divine Tao realm. Isn't the world tree the chaos tree? Luo Qinghe said and then showed a disappointed face. The divine Tao realm was broken due to the chaos tree, and he had only heard of the world mountain. They had never seen it. Everyone fell into silence. According to her words, it was impossible to repair the divine Tao realm. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2181 Divine Tao SEC. Chapter 2181 Divine Tao Secretary Yemo was extremely shocked. The Chaos Tree was in his Dan Tian, and he had seen the World Mountain before. He even had a small piece of it in his Golden Page world. But if the World Mountain he saw was the one Qin Xuanji was talking about, how could it appear in the Truth Fall Palace? It was just Truth Divine Emperor's magic artifact. Even if it was that World Mountain, Yemo didn't believe it could be forged into the Divine Tao Realm's meridian. That World Mountain was enormous, but the Divine Tao Realm was boundless. It's said to be the biggest realm in the universe. Plus, that World Mountain had flown away to a place no one knew, Qin Xuanji said. These are just two conditions for repairing the divine Tao realm. The most important one is to find Eternity Divine Emperor. Eternity Divine Emperor? Everyone looked at her in shock. In the vast universe, only Primordial Essence Divine Emperor can reach eternity. But no one even knew for sure. The title of Eternity Divine Emperor was too powerful. Who would dare to give himself such title? Yemo was even more shocked. If Qin Xuanji didn't say this, he would have forgotten his title was Eternity Divine Emperor. How would you know this? Yemo looked at Qin Xuanji and asked. Qin Xuanji hesitated and said, I got a huge fortune, and that's how my cultivation level improved so greatly. I knew about all this from that fortune. Even with the world mountain and tree, we need to find Eternity Divine Emperor to repair it. Su Feng sighed. Since Eternity Divine Emperor's title is Eternity, I believe he must have existed for an eternity. Even if we found him, the world mountain and tree is too far of a hope. Seeing Eveion become dejected, Yemo suddenly said, Immortal friends, we're all human divine emperors. Even if you all reach primordial essence, you would be homeless if you lived somewhere else. I've decided to set up a sect at the Divine Tao realm called Divine Tao Sect. It's not built for anyone nor power, it's built for the entire Divine Tao realm. Everyone fell silent and listened to Yemo. The Divine Tao Sect will be built in the Divine Tao realm to bring the human race of the Divine Tao realm together again. The Divine Tao Sect won't allow the rule of the jungle in the Divine Tao realm. No Divine Tao city nor God corner would be allowed to have strongest rules. Of course, most importantly, the mission of the Divine Tao realm is to repair the Divine Tao realm. Divine emperors have countless lifespan. Eventually, the Divine Tao realm will be repaired in our hands again. When Yemo said this, he deeply felt that no matter how powerful he was, he couldn't take this on alone. The Aquarius race could publicly threaten to kill the human race, but he could only watch this. If the human race was powerful to a new extent, how would they dare to say this? If the Divine Tao realm was complete, who would even go for the immortal realm? He was more confident than others in repairing the Divine Tao realm. First, he was Eternity Divine Emperor. Second, he had Chaos Tree. Whether he was willing to use it depended on him. Third, he had seen the World Mountain. Perhaps he would be the only one who can find it. As soon as Yemo said this, Luo Qinghe yelled, Sect Leader Yi, Luo Qinghe is willing to join Divine Tao Sect and return to the Divine Tao realm. Sect Leader, Su Feng is willing to join Divine Tao Sect. Qin Xuanji is willing to join the Divine Tao Sect. Shan Mu is willing to join the Divine Tao Sect. Xian Yushuet. In a short while, a few hundred people joined the Divine Tao Sect. Yemo said happily, Very well, today, the Divine Tao Sect is established. I've got 100 or so storage rings from the Aquarius race. The things inside will be the resources for setting up our sect. Luo Qinghe, Su Feng and Qin Xuanji will be the first, second and third vice-sect leader. After this, we'll buy the materials for building a sect in the Void Marketplace and bring back the humans who are willing to return to the Divine Tao realm and build the sect. The Great Sun God Mountain's Tao Essence Divine Emperor's face went pale. If the Divine Tao Sect is built, even 30 divine sects won't be able to take on Divine Tao Sect, much less 3. Suddenly, Yemo stared at the Great Sun God Mountain Tao Essence Divine Emperor and said, On the account that you didn't run away from the conflict with the Aquarius race, I'll let you go on the past conflicts. But once you go back, go tell that Great Sun God Mountain half-primordial essence, if he dares to spirit control the entire Divine Tao realm, I will turn him to dust. Yes, I understand. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor quickly said. This was a huge joy that Yemo let him go due to the Aquarius race conflict. As for whether the Great Sun God Mountain Tao Essence Divine Emperor would listen to Yemo's message, that wasn't his problem. He knew it wasn't quite likely the other Tao Essence Divine Emperor was halfway primordial essence. Sect Leader, after the Tao Fruit Tower, you're not going back to the Divine Tao realm with us? Luo Qinghe asked. Yemo said, I have some things to do. At the same time, I know where the World Mountain is. I'll go search for it. Before you guys go back, I will leave some god pills for you guys to take back. Sect leader, you know where the World Mountain is? Su Feng and them asked at the same time. If Emo found it, then even if they didn't find Eternity Divine Emperor, they could still repair the meridian of the Divine Tao Realm if one of them reached primordial essence. That way, even without the World Tree, the Divine Tao Realm wouldn't be like this. I've seen it, but I'm not certain, Emo said. Sect leader, I've heard them all call you Pill Divine. I wonder what Pill Divine you are? Qin Xuanji asked while everyone was excited. Everyone looked at Emo, wanting to know what god pills the sect leader of the Divine Tao sect could concoct. Emo smiled. I can concoct Tao Essence god pills. Tao Essence Pill Divine? Hearing this, the room was dead silent. Tao Essence Pill Divine was rarer than Primordial Essence Divine Emperor. They completely didn't expect this. Didn't that mean that as long as they had god spirit items, they would all be able to turn into god pills? Luo Qinghe and them finally realized why Void Marketplace Merchant Tower was so polite to Emo. At the same time, they realized why Xiao He from Guanyuan Palace followed Emo suddenly. A flaming red flying sword fell into Emo's hands. Emo grabbed it and felt a message. It was Tian Rui and Kong Han Divine Emperor inviting him over. Emo knew he couldn't reject this, so he patted Luo Qinghe, who was still in disbelief, and said, Qinghe, I'll leave the Dao Fruit Tower spots to you. Then Emo said to Su Feng and Qin Xuanji, please calculated the people joining Divine Dao sect and the resources we got before and turn those god crystals into sect building material and bring it back to the Divine Dao realm. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2182 Invitation of Half Primordial Essence. Chapter 2182 Invitation of Half Primordial Essence. The VIP place was much smaller than the guest palace but more exquisite. When they saw Emo come in, Tian Rui and Kong Han Divine Emperor got up politely. Pill Divine, Yi is very busy now, but we invited you over. Please forgive us, Tian Rui said with full spirit. He didn't seem like that fatigued him before. Emo didn't know why these two called him over, but he wasn't worried. He checked this VIP tower, there was no special restriction. Kong Han Divine Emperor poured a cup of tea for Emo, and then started to chat with Emo about casual things. Emo didn't want to waste time with these two, but he didn't want to bring it up. He was planning to leave if these two kept wasting time. As though realizing what Emo thought, Tian Rui Divine Emperor soon said, Pill Divine Yi, you probably know Great Primordial God Rune God Art, right? Emo instantly realized that the two could tell he knew Great Primordial God Rune from his falling mark sword rune. Emo's facial expression didn't even change. He smiled. Yes, a little bit. Now even in initial mastery. Oh, I didn't expect Pill Divine Yi to have such fortune. Despite knowing that Emo probably knew it, they were still extremely shocked when Emo admitted it. Emo knew that even if he didn't say where he learned the Great Primordial God Rune, the two would ask him, so he said, 100 years ago, I've been to a Void Marketplace auction. I bought the Great Primordial God Rune from there and spent 3 billion God crystals and a God spirit range. Hearing this, the two excited half-primordial essences were a little disappointed indeed. Since Emo was the person who bought the Great Primordial God Rune, then there was no way he was the demon Tao essence who tore open the void. They would rather Emo be that demon divine. Pill Divine Yi is very strong. Are you Tao Essence Divine Emperor already? Kong Han Divine Emperor asked. Hearing this and considering their disappointed face, Emo immediately knew what was going on. They thought he was the demon Tao essence who bought the light heart 100 years ago. That's why they called him over to test him. No wonder they were suspicious. He used the Great Primordial God Rune fruit to buy things, so it was no strange thing that he knew Great Primordial God Rune. Then, his Zisu was extremely strong, so they suspected he used Zisu to tear open the void. Emo rejoiced. He was really lucky. If there was no Great Primordial God Rune sold at the auction, they would be even more suspicious of him. But he knew that if these two investigated at Shadow Void Castle, they would definitely know he bought the Light Heart. As the Exchange Social people knew, he sold the great primordial god rune fruit. However, Guillermo wasn't worried about this. By the time they investigated and knew the results, he would have definitely left the Void Marketplace. Guillermo wasn't scared of these two, but the Light Heart was too precious. If he exposed it, he wouldn't be able to stay alive. No, I'm still Tao Actualization Divine Emperor. I'm a pill divine, otherwise I would want to go to the Tao Fruit Tower too, Guillermo said casually. After realizing Guillermo wasn't the person they were looking for, the two divine emperors lost interest. Guillermo got up to leave. He knew he had to leave the Void Marketplace quickly. At this moment, the three vice sect leaders had arranged everything and came to Guillermo's place. There were a total of 673 divine emperors and immortal friends going back to the divine Tao realm with them. Sect leader Luo Qinghe was going to report more. Guillermo waved his hand. Wait, we don't need to be like this. Just call each other martial brothers. Plus, I really do have some martial brother relationship with you. Luo Qinghe looked at Guillermo in confusion and asked, Martial brother Yi, what do you mean? Guillermo smiled. Have you been to Luo Yu continent, martial brother Qinghe, or did you ascend from there? Luo Qinghe got up in surprise and joy. Martial brother Yi knows of Luo Yu continent? I ascended from there, but because I've been a solo cultivator I didn't have sect heritage. I found a piece of a god cultivation chant, and I used that to ascend to the immortal realm. How did you know I came from the Luo Yu continent? Because I ascended from Luo Yu continent too. The Qinghe god cultivation chant you left behind was found by a sword cultivator called Su Chongji. The latter part was missing, so I filled it up for you, Guillermo said. Luo Qinghe already felt warm when Guillermo said he was from Luo Yu continent. Now that Guillermo said he edited the cultivation method for him, Luo Qinghe felt even better. He asked desperately, How is my disciple's talent? What's his cultivation level now? Guillermo laughed. You only left a part of a sword chant, and you want to be master. It's not that easy. Martial brother Yi, aren't we in the same sect now? Luo Qinghe said awkwardly. Guillermo smiled. I won't fight over disciple with you. I call Su Changji martial brother Su. We'll teach our own disciples. Luo Qinghe said in embarrassment. No wonder martial brother Yi let martial brother Qinghe be the first sect leader. You're already related. Qin Xuanji joked. Guillermo sighed. He already told them about how he came from the immortal realm. Hearing that Guillermo built a MOU immortal sect in the immortal realm, they've long wanted to go see. The group chatted for a while before Su Feng said, Martial brother, I've counted the Aquarius race storage ring. There's 17 extreme grade god artifact, the rest are half extreme grade or top grade Ta. There's also a fake primordial spirit artifact. There's 19 small worlds. Countless materials and God's spirit herbs. There's 29, 3 billion top-grade God crystals, 5 extreme-grade God spirit range, 27 top-grade God spirit range and 29 middle-grade and low-grade God spirit range. There's countless God pills. Guillermo took in a cold breath. The Aquarius race is very wealthy. That battle royale earned him more than selling the 13 spots. The 4 Tao Essence Divine Emperor's storage ring are very plentiful. Su Feng added. Guillermo took out a storage ring to Su Feng and said, There are some God pill and God artifacts I've made. Give the pill concoction and forgery materials to me and take the God pill and God artifact back to develop the sect. Sect leader, you're an artifact divine too? Qin Xuanji looked dazedly at Guillermo. A pill divine was already extremely time-consuming. If this pill divine was still an artifact divine, just how absurd would things be? Guillermo didn't hide it and said, I can forge some God artifact, but the materials are very hard to get. Thus, my forgery skills are a bit weaker than my pill concoction skills. Guillermo continued, The divine Tao sect is about to build. The materials we'll need is an astronomical number. Before the Tao Fruit Tower, martial brother Qing He and martial sister Xuanji can ask for Xing Hong Divine Emperor to buy the things we need. After the Tao Fruit Tower finishes, will leave immediately. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2183 Luo Yu Dao Fruit Shop. Chapter 2183 Luo Yu Dao Fruit Shop. Dao Fruit Tower was the Chaos Tower. Although people often said it was in the Void Marketplace and belonged to it, but its actual location wasn't in the Void Marketplace. It was in the void between realms. There was only one way to the Dao Fruit Tower, and that was the entrance from the Void Marketplace. There was also a huge square at the entrance. It was the Dao Fruit Tower Square. Every time the Dao Fruit Tower opened, there would be all sorts of stalls. At the deepest part of the square was a teleportation formation to the Dao Fruit Tower. This teleportation formation wasn't set up by anyone. It was naturally here. Anyone who went in would be teleported to the first level of the Dao Fruit Tower. At this moment, the square was completely filled. The Dao Fruit Tower was open. Those who wanted to go in could enter now. Zhu Wuheng was nowhere to be seen during this period, but he came very early today. One didn't need any identity jade card to enter the Dao Fruit Tower. They can only enter the teleportation formation. Anyone can enter, but the teleportation will only happen once for 999 people. The 30 people of the human race were all here. However, Yemo was surprised to find that it wasn't just Zhu Wuheng who was a Dao Nourishment Divine Emperor, but also Ji Shi, who was a Dao Nourishment Divine Emperor, and got a spot. Yemo immediately realized who gave it. Wang Nanchuan got 2 spots, and she gave one to Ji Shi. Yemo didn't want to say much about it. When Ji Shi saw Yemo look over, she quickly looked down. She was really scared Yemo would suddenly take her spot away. If Yemo did this, there was nothing she could do. The Great Sun God Mountain also had 3 spots. Other than Dong'an, there was 1 man and woman. They were also Dao Actualization Peak Stage. The people who bought the 13 spots came to the human race area too. There were from all sorts of races and even an Aquarius race, but Yemo didn't care. Tianrui and Kong Han came to the Dao Fruit Tower Square. Kong Han stood in the air and said loudly, "The Dao Fruit Tower is open. Can the divine emperors of different races stand separately? The god rank people stand separately too." Instantly, the space before the teleportation formation was split into tens of groups. Yemo noticed that their group of 42 was huge. The biggest group was the god rank group. There were hundreds there. When Yemo saw Wan Tong Tong, she saw Yemo too. She quickly looked down just like Ji Shi. Clearly, she had heard of what Yemo did at the Void Marketplace. If it wasn't for the Dao Fruit Tower, she would never appear here. Kong Han Divine Emperor looked at the people and said, "There's 999 spots. Now that there's only 994 people here, the Void Marketplace will auction these 5 spots." Yemo realized. No wonder Kong Han and Tianrui were so eager to come. Such method of auction was way better than what he did. If he did this, he would get much higher price with all these people here. But Yemo knew that was implausible. This was the Void Marketplace. If he did that, it would definitely offend the 2 half-primordial essence. In just 10 seconds the 5 spots were gone. The price was more than 15 billion god crystals and 2 gods spirit range. Yemo was speechless. The 999 people were gathered and teleported away. Many merchant towers started to release their shop at obvious places in the square. They wanted to buy the Dao fruits. Some big merchant associations also sent people over too. Yemo didn't go in the Dao Fruit Tower just so he could buy Dao Fruit Heres. He chose the most obvious place and built the largest shop. Luo Yu Dao Fruit Shop. It displayed all the fine details. What was most attractive was that they could help people who had Dao Fruit concoct Dao Fruit God pills. This was something only Dao Actualization Pill Divines could do. The Dao Fruit of the first level was 5-element Heaven Fruit. This Dao Fruit could be concocted into 5-element Dao Fruit God Pill. It can help people learn 5-element God art. The fee is half the price. If pill concoction fails, there would be compensation. The second level had Fu Lu fruit. It was something more precious than Duyuan Eye. It could be made into Buddha Lu God Eye pill. It can allow people to cultivate God eyes that at the extreme can let your eyes pierce a realm. This was also something that needed a top Tao actualization pill divine to concoct. There was still promise of compensation for failure. The third level Tao fruit was dustless fruit. The shop only bought it as the Tao fruit couldn't be used in pill concoction. The fourth level Tao fruit was abstruse heaven fruit. It can be concocted into abstruse heaven pill. It was a pill to help learn God art. It was most suited for wind, ice, and lightning God art. The fifth was purple heaven Tao fruit. It helped Tao nourishment divine emperor breakthrough to Tao actualization divine emperor. It can be made into purple heaven pill. The sixth level was flowing light fruit. It was a real Tao law fruit. Divine emperors could use this to learn laws of the universe, including space and time law. The shop only bought and didn't concoct pills with it. The seventh level was Qian essence fruit. To all the Tao actualization divine emperors in the tower, this was the most precious Tao fruit. Other than people like Yemo who didn't want to use Tao fruit to reach Tao essence divine emperor, no being below Tao essence could resist its temptations. This Tao fruit couldn't be concocted to pills. The shop was willing to pay heavy price and negotiate terms. The eighth level was heaven martial void breaking fruit. This was more precious than Qian essence fruit but less valuable to cultivators as this was a martial Tao fruit. It couldn't be used in pill concoction too. The ninth level was primordial essence dusk fruit. Just from the name, one could tell it was related to primordial essence. However, ever since the Tao fruit tower existed, no one was able to get it, so the shop didn't list this fruit. In all off Luo Yu shop's lists, it was full compensation for pill concoction failure and 50% pill fee. Those competing merchants saw this advertisement and wanted to die. With such conditions, who would be able to compete with Luo Yu? No pill divine dared to promise compensation for pill concoction failure. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2184 Shadow Void Young Castle Master. Chapter 2184 Shadow Void Young Castle Master. We're late. A handsome-looking man brought a few divine emperors to the Tao Fruit Tower Square and saw stalls everywhere. Young Castle Master, there's still a few spots at the corner. We can place our stall there. A Tao Actualization Divine Emperor said. They were scared the stalls would be taken, but more scared that the young Castle Master would cause trouble here. All those who could set up stall here weren't weak. They were either a powerful faction or a powerful sect. The young Castle Master frowned and sneered. The name of our Shadow Void Castle dominates the void. How can we choose a corner? That would be a joke. Su Yang, go negotiate with some stall owners and see if we can pay some god crystals. Luo Yu Dao Fruit Shop. He wanted to let his men negotiate with someone who had weaker power than the Shadow Void Castle to buy a stall, but then he saw Luo Yu Dao Fruit Shop. He saw that the place was the most obvious and largest. It wasn't that he wanted this place. They could take such a large place, meaning that they clearly weren't ordinary people. He asked because he had never heard of such power. Su Yang, have you heard of this Luo Yu Dao Fruit stall? How come I've never heard of it? The young Castle Master asked the Tao Actualization Divine Emperor next to him. Then he looked at two Tao Essence Divine Emperors and asked, have two elders heard of them before? The man and woman shook their head. They were delayed on their trip to the Void Marketplace and thus didn't hear about Yemo's slaying demon divine emperors and dominating the Aquarius race. Su Yang was scared the young Castle Master would be rash and said, Young Castle Master, how about I go ask? Perhaps we can ask them for pill concoction. Looking at their sign, it's quite scary. The young Castle Master nodded. Since the stall is set there, they're definitely not ordinary. Be polite when you ask. Hearing this, Su Yang rejoiced. The young castle master was usually very cocky. To be able to say this, it was a huge improvement. Haha, so it's Shadow Void Castle young castle master, Lu Tai immortal friends. Long time no see. A warm voice sounded. Then a man who looked on par with the young castle master came over. His extremely handsome face was surrounded with this shocking chi. Those who knew would recognize it was demonic wave. This person was the Tao Essence demon representing the demon race at the Tao Fruit Tower distribution. He was called Situhong. Seeing this, young castle master felt a little overwhelmed and said, "So it's Situ Qian Bei. Qian Bei haven't been to the Shadow Void Castle for a long time. Lu Tai miss you very much." Situhong laughed. "Young castle master is too polite. We're no outsiders. Just call me Brother Situ from now. How has castle master been lately?" Hearing this, young castle master was overjoyed and quickly said, "My father is in solitary cultivation. Castle master is really a talented person, we're so much lesser than him." Situhong sighed and asked, "By the way, why did young castle master only come now?" Lu Tai sighed. "Due to some things happening in the void we wasted some time. Now that we're here, there's not even a space left for us. If I go back, father will definitely reproach me." Situhong also said with a pity, "Yeah, the Tao fruits are no small matter. If the Shadow Void Castle has no spots this time, the losses would be huge." Situhong hesitated and suddenly said, "Young castle master, how about this? You can come to our demon race and I'll give half my stall to young castle master." "How can that work? It would be troubling Brother Situ." Lu Tai's heart was very warm. He didn't expect Situhong to take him this seriously. Situhong said gloriously, "This isn't hard. The castle master helped me a lot before and you've helped me quite a lot too." Seeing Situhong be so polite, Lu Tai said, "Brother Situ, I do need to ask you about something. How come I've never heard of that Luo Yu Dao fruit shop? Their stall is huge and it's in the center of the square." Situhong glanced at it and said in contempt, "If it wasn't for Xinghong, I would have kicked him away. That stall owner knows Xinghong and Kong Han Divine Emperor through pill concoction. He's just a human solo cultivator, and he's only Dao Actualization Divine Emperor. It's normal that you haven't heard of him." "What?" Lu Tai looked at Situhong in shock. A solo cultivator dared to have such a huge spot in the square? Situhong suddenly thought of something and said, "Young castle master, I'm busy. I'll be leaving first. If you have no spot, feel free to come to me." "Okay, thank you Brother Situ." Lu Tai felt very good. "Young castle master, I feel Situhong's words are strange." That Tao Essence Divine Emperor set up a sound barrier restriction and said, "Why?" Lu Tai, who was going to walk towards Luo Yu Dao fruit shop, stopped. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor said, "First, he came at such a strange time and he's too nice to young castle master. Situhong isn't someone that easy to talk to and yet he's giving his stall. Although he's close to Xinghong, it's not at the level he would give such space over. Third, even if he's close to Xinghong, what about Beast Race, Aquarius Race and Abyssal Race? We've just come here. It's best that we investigate what the shop is in case we fall into a trap." Lu Tai thought for a moment and said, "Elder, she is right. Situhong is indeed a bit strange. We just came to the Void Marketplace and don't know a lot of things. He saw us come to the square and knew we needed a stall. He even overheard us before coming over. But if that stall owner is really close to Kong Han Divine Emperor, it's plausible." The Tao Essence woman suddenly said, "There's also Dragon and Phoenix Race. Even Kong Han Divine Emperor wouldn't be able to let Demon, Abyssal and Aquarius Race give over such a good spot. The Luo Yu shop isn't simple, Suddenly, the woman looked at the door of the shop with disbelief. "Elder Pu, what did you notice?" The young castle master asked quickly. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor belonged to the Tsang Su Dao Exchange Social and not the Shadow Void Castle. They were cooperating. If the owner of the shop is the person who just came out. I've seen him and I know a little about him. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor said. Lu Tai felt the Tao Essence Divine Emperor's tense tone and asked carefully, Elder Pu, is his origin big? The woman shook her head. He's indeed a human Divine Emperor from the Divine Tao realm. When I first saw him, he only seemed to be Tao nourishment, but now, he's Tao actualization. He definitely hid his power. Immortal friends Pu, where did you see him? The Shi Tao Essence asked. At the Tsang Su Tao Exchange Social. He had a lot of good things and then had conflict with Demon Tao Essence Mo Fu over the 9-star bamboo. He was stopped at the Immortal Rest Tower for nearly 3 years. After 3 years this person left, and Mo Fu left with him. The woman said. Then what happened? Did Elder Fu follow them? The young castle master asked. He knew she would definitely go check. She nodded. Yes, I did. I ended up seeing Mo Fu's broken magic artifact. Ever since then, I've never seen Mo Fu again, but today I saw that human Divine Emperor again. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2185 Want Ye Mo Stall. Chapter 2185 Want Ye Mo Stall. He killed Mo Fu? The young castle master asked in surprise. And then he said, No wonder Situhong wants to stir up trouble. Young castle master, I feel that Situhong probably doesn't know that he killed Mo Fu. If Situhong knew that, then even if the stall owner knew Tianrei Divine Emperor, Situhong wouldn't be letting him sit there. The Tao Actualization Divine Emperor called Sul once said. The young castle master nodded. Since we know he is, we can let him have his way. Give him a small space and pay him some God crystals compensation. A human race Tao Essence Divine Emperor is not much to me. The Shi Tao Essence Divine Emperor and Sulan Tao Actualization Divine Emperor didn't say anything hearing this, but the female Tao Essence Divine Emperor said, Young castle master, I think it's best that we don't start trouble. If the human race Divine Emperor only had that much power, Situhong wouldn't be using your hands to kill him. The reason she said this was because she had this deep concern with Mo. She hadn't seen the exact fight between Mo and Mo Fu, but she saw the void formation flags Mo left behind. This meant that Mo used formations to kill Mo Fu. The reason Mo had to use formations was because he was weaker than Mo Fu. Someone who was weaker than Mo Fu used all sorts of means to kill him. How could he not know the danger of taking such a stall on the Tao Fruit Tower Square? However, she had tried persuading the young castle master. She wasn't a part of the Shadow Void Castle. She already said what needed to be said. What the young castle master did was his choice. Lu Tai smiled. Elder Pu, don't worry. This thing definitely won't get Tsang Su Tao Exchange Social involved. Plus, with such a huge shop, we'll definitely earn big this time. Situhong isn't necessarily starting trouble between us. He doesn't dare not to take into account my father. Plus, how much benefits has Situhong taken from Xinghong? It's normal that he's embarrassed to offend Xinghong. Just watch me. Pu Hoshi could only follow over. The reason Mo was here alone was because he asked the rest of the people to buy all sorts of sect-building materials in the Void Marketplace. In order for them to not get abused, Mo let Xiao He follow them. Although Xinghong helped him a lot, there were many things he needed to go by himself. When Mo came out of the shop, he saw Pu Hoshi. Even though the young castle master walked at the front, Mo only knew her. Immortal friends, you're a human race pill divine, right? How may I refer to you? I'm from the Shadow Void Castle, Lu Tai. I'm the young castle master. Lu Tai saluted with his fists. Mo immediately thought that Lu Tai came to ask him for pill concoction and saluted with his fists. I'm Mo, is the young castle master here to ask me for pill concoction? Lu Tai pointed at Mo's sign and laughed. Pill divine Yi is really bold. Not everyone dares to set up such plate. Although Elder Xinghong is a powerful figure of the Void Marketplace, not everyone cares about him. Mo frowned. He didn't really understand what Lu Tai meant. What's his signs got to do with Xinghong? Lu Tai said again. Immortal friends, I wasted some time on the way here so I came late. Can you do this? How about you give part of your stall to me and I'll pay you some god crystals or something else? Of course, if anyone else looks for your trouble, I can help you. You came to take my stall? Yemo immediately realized what this young castle master meant. Lu Tai smiled and nodded. Yes, don't worry. I will compensate you god crystals. Just divide out 10%. Hearing this, Yemo wasn't too annoyed. His stall was huge. Giving him 10% for some god crystals was okay. Plus, when he was hunted by Mo Fu, it was Shadow Void Castle's immortal rest tower that helped him. The Shadow Void Castle needs to buy a lot of things, so I might need some larger area. 10% of the area should be enough for you. Immortal friends, what do you think? Lu Tai looked at Yemo confidently. He didn't believe that Yemo could really concoct those god pill he proclaimed. Yemo's stall was purely to cheat people's Dao fruits. Since it was cheating, there would be conflicts. Now that he was going to back Yemo up, Yemo would definitely want this. Yemo looked at Lu Tai like he was an idiot. He thought the 10% was for the young castle master, but this idiot meant it was for him. Why did this idiot feel so good about himself? If it wasn't that he spoke nicely, Yemo would have kicked him away already. I don't think so. Yemo didn't want to offend Shadow Void Castle, but he wasn't going to give him 10% anymore. Hearing this, Lu Tai's face went cold. He thought he was polite enough to this human divine emperor, and yet he dares to be so cocky. Elder Shi. Lu Tai called. He knew he was no match for Yemo. Elder Shi went up immediately as his powerful realm domain instantly bound Yemo, while he grabbed at Yemo. In front of outsiders, the face of the young castle master needed to be preserved. The same time Yemo was bound, he felt the nearby space pause. He immediately knew this was time law. Time law was thought to be the most terrifying law. It was the hardest to learn, but once you learned it, it was extremely powerful. Yemo learned time law due to a lightning sound age's fruit. He studied time law by himself. Now that he saw someone Eli's time law, he didn't want to break free. He closed his eyes to feel it. Yemo really didn't fear an ordinary Dao Essence Divine Emperor. When Elder Shi heard that Yemo killed Mo Fu, he was concerned with Yemo. Mo Fu was stronger than him, but lately he learned a time law god art. If he fought against Mo Fu now, he wouldn't be scared. In order to scare Yemo, Elder Shi used his strongest god art immediately. When he saw that Yemo couldn't even stay awake in his time law, he knew that he overestimated Yemo. Pu Hoshi watched on the side in confusion. She didn't understand why Yemo couldn't even struggle. Elder Shi's hand grabbed at Yemo's neck, but when his hands were about to touch Yemo, he felt Yemo's neck move and he grabbed on Yemo's shoulder. He didn't plan to kill Yemo. Other people thought the miss was nothing, but this Elder Shi knew very clearly this was extremely powerful space law. Elder Shi's hands grabbed on Yemo's shoulder, and this extremely powerful force came. He felt his fingers ache, and then there was a cracking sound. The Dao Essence Divine Emperor knew his fingers had all broke. Then, he saw a foot kick on his face. He was kicked flying without resistance. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2186 Shocking News. Chapter 2186 Shocking News. When this Dao Essence old man flew out, half his face was destroyed by Yemo's kick. He was shocked but at the same time rejoiced that Yemo didn't kill him. Lu Tai looked at this scene in extreme shock. He felt his surroundings completely freeze. At the same time, he was grabbed by a huge God Essence hand and thrown on the ground. Lu Tai was scared soulless. He had been careful enough, but he didn't expect this Yemo could easily smash away his Dao Essence Divine Emperor. This power was no weaker than his father. Young Castle Master Lu, I still don't want to give 90% of my stall to you. What do you think? Yemo looked at Lu Tai, who was under his foot, and said. Lu Tai finally realized why Yemo could have his stall here. Yemo had the power. Even Tao Essence was no match for him, such stall was nothing. His life was in Yemo's hands now. He quickly said, Qian Bei, Wan Bei was ignorant. On the account that you stayed at my immortal rest tower for a few years, please show mercy. If it was some other divine emperor, he would be furious and embarrassed hearing this, but Yemo didn't. He was indeed grateful to that immortal rest tower. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be willing to give him 10%. That's why Yemo didn't kill Lu Tai and the Tao Essence next to him. Immortal friends, on that account please don't attack. Pu Hoshi was worried seeing Lu Tai was stomped on the ground. She helped Yemo before at the Tao Exchange Social. Yemo didn't keep stepping on Lu Tai but didn't let him go either. He looked at Pu Hoshi and said, Since he's in my hands, name a price. I'm willing to pay 10 billion God crystals. Lu Tai immediately said before Pu Hoshi could speak. Pu Hoshi sighed. She could tell that Yemo didn't plan to kill Lu Tai. Otherwise, he could just kill Lu Tai and all his belongings would be his. In such situation, Yemo would be settled with at most 5 billion God crystals, but now, this young castle master said 10 billion. Hearing this, Yemo envied the wealth of the Shadow Void Castle. 10 billion was no small number, but this Lu Tai gave it out so easily. Seeing Lu Tai take out a storage ring, Yemo let go off the pressure and yelled, Piss off. Yes. Lu Tai quickly charged out of the range of the shop and went with the other divine emperors of the castle to a corner at the square. Pu Hoshi heard Yemo's sound transmission before she left, telling her to keep her mouth tight. How could she not know now that Yemo killed Mo Fu? Even if Yemo didn't tell, she wouldn't dare to spread things. That bastard, how dare he set me up? Lu Tai cursed. If he still didn't know by now that he was set up by Situhong, he would be an idiot. Situhong clearly wanted Yemo to kill him, but Yemo didn't. Lu Tao Essence had recovered his injuries and said in confusion that Situhong probably has some conflict with Yemo, so he set up young castle master to attack Yemo. He definitely thought Yemo would kill young castle master, but that Yemo is strange. Does he know that the young castle master was set up? He didn't kill young castle master, and just took some god crystals. Some god crystals? 10 billion is some god crystals? This bastard is no good person. Lu Tai felt the pain now. He knew that Yemo was extremely scary. Otherwise, how could Situhong use him to offend Yemo? Young castle master, you must not say that. The Tao Actualization Divine Emperor sent out to get intel came back and quickly said, What did you find out? The young castle master immediately beamed nervous. He lost face and lost 10 billion god crystals after being taught a lesson. There was no way he wasn't annoyed. This was enough to get his father involved. He was ready to notify the castle master, his father. But before he did that, he had to know what Yemo did at the Void Marketplace to dare to take such a stall. Su Wan quickly said that Yemo is said to be a Tao Actualization Pill Divine, and some people even say he's Tao Essence Pill Divine. Before we came to the Void Marketplace, the human race had a huge clash with the Aquarius race under his lead. Pill Divine Yi killed 4 Tao Essence Divine Emperor alone and more than 100 Divine Emperors below Tao Essence. What? Everyone from the Shadow Void Castle was dazed, just like when Su Wan first heard this. Yemo dared to lead the declined human race to fight with the Aquarius race and dared to kill more than 100 Aquarius race? Was he not scared of death? Why was he still alive now? Lu Tai had completely calmed down now. The reason he thought Yemo didn't kill him before was because Yemo was scared of the Shadow Void Castle. Now, it didn't seem so at all. Yemo wasn't even scared of the Aquarius race. Continue. The young castle master breathed and said slowly. He rejoiced that he didn't impulsively send a message to his father. Otherwise, this thing might not end well. The Shadow Void Castle was strong, but they had no primordial essence divine emperor. Seeing the young castle master calm down, Sulwan said, During that battle, twice the amount of Aquarius race died. Not only that, the human race has become very united under Yemo. In the Void Marketplace, no one would abuse the human race for no reason. This Tao Fruit Tower opening, the human race took back the 30 spots that belonged to them and got 14 more. So amazing. Pu Hoshi and the other Lu Dao Essence Divine Emperor gasped. The Dao Essence Divine Emperors here at the Void Marketplace were the strong ones of every race. Yemo could take 44 spots at the distribution as absurdity amongst absurdity. Not only so, Yemo killed Demon Race Dao Essence Divine Emperor Gong Xiang and beat Abyssal Race Dao Essence Divine Emperor Zhongli Huyin and robbed 5 spots from each. Hearing this, all the Divine Emperors here gasped in disbelief. After a long while, Lu Tai cursed. No wonder Situhong wanted to trick us. Yemo killed Demon Race Dao Essence Divine Emperor, and so they want us to fight with Yemo, and then I would call my father over. Then my father would fight Yemo while they watched. The Lu Dao Essence Divine Emperor nodded. It's probably so. If they call the half-primordial essence, first it would take too long, second they would have no reason to fight. After all, being killed at the Dao Fruit Tower distribution was normal. The human race had killed countless human race divine emperors. Luckily young Castle Master was calm. Now we just lost some god crystals. Pu Hoshi sighed. The Aquarius race is a precedent. They might have had conflict with Yemo, but it wasn't to the point of large-scale battles. They were definitely set up by the demon race. The young Castle Master did the right thing. We just lost some god crystals. Hearing 2 Dao Essence Divine Emperors compliment him, Lu Tai felt great about himself and nodded. We'll pretend we don't know this. After we buy enough Dao fruits, we'll go back to the castle and tell this to my father. A few days later, Xiao He, Xian Yu Shui, Gu Bing and a few more human race divine emperors came back. In a few days they've spent most of their god crystals and the materials for sect building were pretty much prepared. Seeing more and more human divine emperors come to Yemo's stall, Lu Tai rejoiced even more that he did the right thing. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2187 Dao Fruit Tower closes S. Chapter 2187 Dao Fruit Tower closes S. There were a lot of Dao fruits in the Dao Fruit Tower, but the time allowed in was too short, only 10 days. Powerful people could charge up to the 7th level in the 10 days, but weaker ones could only stay below 7th level. Those weak and unlucky ones might still be on the 2nd level after 10 days. Yemo didn't go in because the time was short, and he knew his Dao vindication path. If he went in, those Dao waves would affect his own Dao. 10 days passed in an instant. On the 10th day, even the extremely spacious Dao Fruit Tower Square was full. Kong Han and Tian Rui Divine Emperor came to the Dao Fruit Tower Square. Yemo thought even if there were halfway primordial essences to come, there would just be a few, but now, Yemo realized he was wrong. A few powerful spirit sense scanned outside his restriction. Yemo knew that this was people no weaker than Kong Han Divine Emperor. Not only so, Yemo saw the 2 half-primordial essences at the auction. Their spirit sense was very familiar. Yemo guessed that there were at least 6 halfway primordial essences at the square. One of them entered the Aquarius race, and another entered the Beast race stall. Yemo watched the Aquarius one the most. No matter what, he definitely knew the conflict between the human and Aquarius race. The reason they didn't attack yet was one to show respect to the Void Marketplace, but another reason was to let him buy the Dao fruits for them. Realizing this, Yemo didn't worry anymore. If there was just one halfway primordial essence, it would be easy to deal with. If there were 2, things would be a bit troublesome. Luckily, he was prepared and made the buys needed. The black restrictions of the end of the square emitted white lights suddenly. These white lights rattled the black restrictions. The Dao Fruit Tower is about to close, people are coming out. The white light disappeared and the black restriction was open. A few hundred Dao Actualization Divine Emperors quickly dispersed. A few Dao Actualization Divine Emperor immediately dashed out of the square and disappeared. Clearly, they're from the God rank. More stayed as they knew staying here was the safest. If they didn't have confidence, charging out of the void marketplace now was the stupidest action. Nearly 100 people went into the tower, but less than 900 came out. Yemo scanned the human race Tao actualization divine emperors. 32 people went in, but 30 came out. Without a doubt, those two had died inside. Luo Qinghe, Qin Xuanji, Wang Nanchuang Dongan, and so all came out safely. None of them left the square, and all came to Yemo's stall. Looking at their faces, Yemo immediately knew that they harvested a lot. Martial brother, the greatest harvest for me this time is 2 Qian essence fruit. I also got 6 more Dao fruits on top of that, Luo Qinghe said excitedly. Yemo immediately gathered the 30 divine emperors and said, "Those who got 5 element heaven fruit, Fulu fruit, abstruse heaven fruit, purple heaven Dao fruit came leave the Dao fruit with me. I will concoct them into God pill. As for the other Dao fruits that can't be made into God pill, keep it yourselves. I was planning to collect enough Qian essence fruits and increase a few Dao essence divine emperors on our side, but now we can't do that. The 3 vice sect leaders lead the human race divine emperors back to the divine Dao realm and build the divine Dao sect." Su Feng asked in shock. "Did something happen?" Yemo said. "Not yet, but I guess soon. A halfway primordial essence came to the Aquarius race. He was very subtle, but I still noticed him." "Halfway primordial essence?" Some human divine emperors looked at each other. Halfway primordial essence was infinitely close to Dao vindication 3rd step. If the difference between 1st step and 2nd step was a deep ravine, then the difference between 2nd and 3rd step was endless. Seeing them look worriedly, Yemo said calmly, "Don't worry, that half primordial essence is watching me. As long as I don't go, they won't go. I've already borrowed a void ship from Xinghong. You can use it to go back to the divine Dao realm. I got 3 Qian essence fruit and a heaven martial void breaking fruit." Qin Xuanji was about to take out the Dao fruits. Yemo quickly said, "Keep the fruits on you. You only need one of the Qian essence fruit. See who else in the sect needs it, and then make arrangements based on their contribution. Remember, if the Aquarius race really dares to attack the divine Dao realm, don't keep fighting if you can't beat them. One day, we'll get back at them." Yemo made these arrangements and said to Qiao He, "Immortal friends Qiao, if you trust me, then please go to the divine Dao realm. At the same time, give me the location of the Guan Yuan Palace. After I'm done with things, I will go there and help with pill concoction. I will then go back to the divine Dao realm after finishing. Then, you can leave the divine Dao realm. If it's fast, then it should be done in a decade, but even if it's slow, I wouldn't take more than 100 years. Qiao He was helpless, but he knew that there was no way Yemo would go with him before he finished his things. He had been searching for a powerful pill divine for 2 millennia. It was impossible to find a powerful Dao essence pill divine like Yemo. Now that Yemo asked him to go to the divine Dao realm, it was clearly for him to help the human race. If he didn't agree, Yemo might not concoct pills for him. He had been with Yemo for a while and understood Yemo's character a little. Yemo wasn't even scared of Aquarius race. There was no way he would be scared of the Guan Yuan Palace. Thinking about this, Qiao He took out a jade bead and said, "This is a void location bead of the Guan Yuan Palace. You can sense the palace from here in the void." The human divine emperors of the shop quickly left, and soon, Yemo was alone. His spirit sense was watching the Aquarius race. He found that the Dao Essence Divine Emperor and half Primordial Essence didn't leave and felt assured. Now that he was alone, my plan to let Small Ginseng or Chiu rang out to help. Small Ginseng was Ice Ginseng King, but with countless Dao fruits here, Small Ginseng wouldn't cause people to fight over him immediately. But soon Yemo found enjoyed that Mu Xiaoyun was out of solitary cultivation. She was Immortal Friend's peak stage now. The next thing for her was Dao Vindication. Yemo had this many Dao fruit and Chaos Chi in the Golden Page world, there was no worries at all. Yemo immediately called out Mu Xiaoyun, and as soon as she came out, she came up and hugged Yemo tightly. "Husband, I don't want to go into solitary cultivation again. It had been a torture for Mu Xiaoyun all these years in the time formation disk. With her talent and all these resources, she definitely didn't need all these years to reach Immortal Friend's peak stage, but she missed EMO too much, and would often wake up from solitary cultivation. She forced herself back into solitary cultivation. This was not the Mindus for cultivation. EMO felt this and patted her back. Don't worry, Xiaoyun, you won't need to anymore. Your Immortal Friend's peak stage, but your Dao heart isn't full. It's not good for Dao vindication. You can stay with me for a while before you vindicate Dao. Mu Xiaoyun was like a tame cat. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2188 Collect Dao Fruit Like Crazy. Chapter 2188 Collect Dao Fruit Like Crazy. When Emo took Mu Xiaoyun out of the shop, there were nearly 100 people outside. Seeing this, Emo rejoiced. He could tell they came out from the Dao Fruit Tower. They definitely came to sell or ask him for pill concoction. Husband, are we at the Void Marketplace? What square is this? Why are there so many people? Mu Xiaoyun asked in shock, seeing so many divine emperors squeezed here. This is Void Marketplace Dao Fruit Tower Square. I'm going to go in for pill concoction. You stay out and help me collect Dao fruits and give out pills, Emo said. Pill Divine Yi, is what's on your tablet true? I have 2 abstruse heaven fruit. I want to ask you to concoct abstruse heaven pill, Pill Divine Yi. I have a purple heaven Dao fruit. I want to trade for 5 God Cloud pill. Pill Divine Yi. Most people trusted him as he had a stall here before. Immortal Friends, of course what's on Yemo's sign is true. Even if you just give me 1 Dao fruit and I destroyed it in pill concoction, I'll compensate you. Then Yemo continued. I'll put it out now, the number of pills per cauldron is 9. If it's 2 of the same Dao fruit then you get 9 pills. If it's just 1 Dao fruit then 4 pills. Remember to prepare the supplementary God Spirit herb yourselves. If I have to provide it then you have to pay more God crystals or take less God pills. Yemo knew that in terms of buying with God crystals, he was probably the weakest here. Any merchant shop here had more God crystals than him. He probably only had about tens of billions, but any merchant shop here had more than 100 billion. He could only use God pill to get Dao fruits. With his current power, he can easily concoct 12 pills per cauldron. Saying 9 was still extremely amazing in the Void Marketplace. Usually, those who get 6 pills per cauldron were extremely powerful pill divines. Okay, I'll come first. I have 2 abstruse heaven fruits, the Dao Actualization Divine Emperor at the front said. Even if it was just 6 pills, he would accept without hesitation. Yemo took these 2 fruits and left things outside to Mu Xiaoyun. He went in first. Many people were here, but most of them just watched. Many people knew that Yemo was pill divine, but the Dao fruit was too precious. What if this person destroyed it? Even if they killed Yemo, they wouldn't be able to get back their Dao fruits. Due to Yemo's big sign and shocking content, more and more people came. There would be at least 4,000 to 5,000 Dao fruits each time the Dao Fruit Tower opened. Some people didn't want to waste time going to higher levels, so they would collect more numbers of low-level Dao fruits. Yemo only used 5 minutes to finish a cauldron of abstruse heaven pill. Husband. Mu Xiaoyun saw Yemo come out and stood by Yemo nervously. She was Immortal Friend's peak stage, but no one here was Immortal Friends. They were all Divine Emperors. Pill Divine Yi, how is it? The Dao Actualization Divine Emperor asked nervously. Yemo took out a jade bottle and said, It's done, have a look. The Dao Actualization Divine Emperor opened and poured out a pill. Then he said in shock, 9 extreme grade abstruse heaven pills. He had never expected for extreme grade God pills to appear. He would be able to accept even middle grade. He quickly put the pills into the jade bottle and then left the crowd without even saying thank you. Everyone nearby saw this immediately. Mu Xiaoyun immediately became busy. All sorts of Tao fruit were sent over. Some Tao fruit not even from the Tao fruit tower came. Tao fruits became Yimou's and God pills stacked up in Yimou's storage ring. The divine emperors left happily with their jade bottles. Later on, more and more people came to ask for pill concoction. Half a day had passed. Yimou collected a few hundred Tao fruits. Xiaoyun, stop collecting Tao fruits. Yimou told Mu Xiaoyun to stop. Yimou could clearly feel many looks of animosity. Clearly, he overdid it. He collected that many Tao fruits all by himself. What would all the other shops and powers do? Plus, he felt he couldn't keep staying here. Mu Xiaoyun wasn't dumb. She was planning to remind Yimou even if he didn't say it. Now that Yimou said this, she gave the Tao fruits to Yimou and stood on his side. Yimou took out the god pills he concocted and gave them out. Then Yimou saluted with his fists. Luoyu Tao fruit shop is done buying now. Everyone please choose other shops. How can that do? It's not my turn yet? I didn't get a chance. I've been waiting for a long time. Pill Divine Yi, what's going on? When Yimou announced this, he clearly felt the killing intent she dissipate by a lot. If Yimou didn't slaughter the Aquarius race, there would have long been people to challenge Yimou's stall. Yimou said apologetically, I've been concocting for half a day, my sea of consciousness isn't holding up. When would Pill Divine Yi begin pill concoction again? Some people immediately asked. I don't know. I'm going back for solitary cultivation. Maybe when I finish solitary cultivation. Yimou's words disappointed a lot of people, making them regret not coming here earlier. It was normal for a Tao actualization divine emperor to go into solitary cultivation for a few 100,000 years. Who knew when he would come out? But no one dared to force Yimou to concoct pills. Those divine emperors could only put away their Tao fruits. Wait! Just when Yimou was about to pack up his stall, a heavy voice stopped him. It was a man wearing black robes and a hat. Yimou could tell there was something with this hat. It was a top-level stealth magic artifact. What bewildered Yimou was that this man's power fluctuated between Tao actualization and Tao essence. Yimou guessed that this person could reach Tao essence at any time. You're looking for me? Yimou asked. The man said heavily. That's right, I have a business deal with you. Yimou nodded. Come in then. He looked at Mu Xiaoyun. Xiaoyun, come in. She stay outside, I came to talk to you alone. The man's voice went cold. Hearing this, Yimou sneered. Then don't talk about it. I'm going. Then Yimou packed up the sign. If he didn't feel this man wasn't simple, Yimou wouldn't even let him come in. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Even if you didn't care about the first 8 levels, not anyone can get into the 9th level. Tao actualization and want to get to the 9th level. I can't find anyone else other than top 3 of God rank. From your looks, I'm guessing you're Tai Shu Shi, God rank number 1. Then Yimou suddenly got up. Perhaps I can go say it now. Leave, I'm going to pack up my stall and promote this news. Seeing Yimou leave without even looking at the primordial essence dusk fruit, the black-robed man was worried. He quickly got up and gritted his teeth. I'll trade with you. 1 primordial essence dusk fruit for 1 cosmic Tao pill. Yimou looked calmly at him. When did I tell you I was going to do that? The primordial essence dusk fruit doesn't have much use for me. If you want to say I have it, then go ahead. Huh? The black-robed man was truly worried this time. Yimou didn't want to take such huge advantage? The man calmed down quickly. He realized he was no match for this Pill Divine Yi in terms of business. Thinking about this, he said genuinely, I was Tao actualization peak stage, and when I entered the 9th level, I was infected by the primordial essence dusk fruit tree's primordial essence chi. I was automatically going to learn the Tao waves. If my foundation wasn't deep, I would _V exploded from the Tao chi. I_V suppressed it, but I am now at a state where I can't reach Tao essence. I can only use the cosmic Tao pill to remove the messy Tao Qi. It was just as he guessed. Yemo thought to himself, this 9th level was so powerful. It seemed that even if he went, he probably couldn't escape such fate. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2190 Battle Half Primordial Essence. Chapter 2190 Battle Half Primordial Essence. Emo really didn't care about the primordial essence dusk fruit. Hearing this, he stopped and said, 5 billion god crystals, 1 primordial essence dusk fruit for 1 cosmic Tao pill. Hearing this, the black-robed man almost spat blood, but he resisted his fury and took out a storage ring and gave the fruit to Yemo. Okay, give me the cosmic Tao pill. Yemo checked the god crystals and fruit before giving a jade bottle to the black-robed man while saying, Be me moral. The man checked the pill and sneered, I know you're very moral. Perhaps we will meet again, and when we meet again, I hope you can be as moral as today. The man said and left Yemo's shop. Let's go. Yemo took Mu Xiaoyun out of the shop and collected his shop magic artifact. Your pill divine Yi? As soon as Yemo packed up the shop, a skinny old man appeared before Yemo and Mu Xiaoyun. Half primordial essence. Yemo's eyes glanced at this old man and saw his power level. Although this person had no Tao wave and his eyes seemed very ordinary, Yemo knew that this person was one of the half primordial essence who appeared at the auction. You're looking for me? Yemo saluted with his fists and asked calmly. I'm Void Marketplace Auction Pingyuan. I've long heard Pill Divine Ye's great name. Before, Pill Divine Ye was doing business, so I didn't dare to disturb, but now that you're free, would you have the time to come sit at my place? The old man's tone was rather polite. Yemo recognized this person and knew he had long been here. If it was before the Tao Fruit Tower was open, Yemo would go, but the most important thing for him now was to leave the Void Marketplace. He wasn't going to chat with this half-primordial essence. Yemo immediately finished. Thank you for your invite, immortal friends Peng, but I have someone waiting for me. After I'm done with that, I'll come visit immortal friends Peng. Then he added, I'll be going first, immortal friends Peng. I believe we will be seeing again soon. Then Yemo pulled Mu Xiaoyun and left the Tao Fruit Tower Square. He didn't want to talk to Pingyuan as he definitely didn't have good business coming to find him. This guy seemed even stronger than Kong Han Divine Emperor. At the same time, Yemo knew that the people from Shadow Void Castle was here. Him selling great primordial god rune Tao fruit there could be exposed at any time. Yemo was ready to fight with Pingyuan when he left. He was thinking that if Pingyuan wanted to force him, he would fight him. Seeing Yemo ran before he could even answer, Pingyuan's face sunk. He had never seen such a cocky Tao actualization divine emperor. He was going to charge up to him and stop him. Immortal friends Ping, wait. A pale-faced man who looked like he drowned to death stopped Pingyuan. He would use anything he could to fight a half-primordial essence. He didn't even finish half the formation and the half-primordial essence landed on this planet as well. Yemo released Zisu and stared at this half-primordial essence. His face was pale. Do you know why I didn't kill you immediately? Because I know you're a Tao Essence Pill Divine and you can even concoct extreme-grade cosmic Tao Pill. The Divine Emperor stared at Yemo for a while and said slowly, Give up and surrender. I won't kill you. The Aquarius race needs a Pill Divine. You can stay in our race to concoct pills to make up for your sins. Eat my sword first before you ramble on. Zisu suddenly waved out a 300 kilometers long purple ray and hacked over. This was Sword God Art Shatter Space. An even brighter watercolor suddenly appeared before the purple sword ray and smashed together. Thud. Watercolor splashed apart, and purple sword ray was broken. Powerful God Essence backlash and terrifying void power came. Yemo felt his chest go heavy. It was as though he was struck by a huge hammer and sent flying. That watercolor light that splashed tore open Yemo's realm domain and smashed at where Yemo was. Explosion sounded. A little less than half of this barren planet was destroyed. The formation flags Yemo set up before were completely pulverized too. Yemo landed in one corner of this planet. His god essence was still messy. He didn't expect a half-primordial essence to be this strong. If this person was a primordial essence divine emperor, wouldn't that mean he would just die? He didn't even see what magic artifact this divine emperor used. No wonder you can kill our Aquarius divine emperor. You have some power indeed. You broke free from my realm domain. In that case, take another hit. The divine emperor released his magic artifact again. This time, Yemo saw clearly, it was an ordinary white ruler. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2191 Terrifying Monk. Chapter 2191 Terrifying Monk. When he attacked again, the Aquarius Divine Emperor's heart was on fire. He was certain that Yemo's sword was a primordial spirit artifact. Otherwise, Yemo would be heavily injured just then. Not only that, Yemo's strike struck ripples in such solid void. If this wasn't a primordial spirit artifact, how could it do this? At the same time, he released Sisu again. The sword ray wasn't as vibrant as before. It was only around 300 m long, but it was twisted. This time, Yemo attacked with full force. This was a sword god art even he couldn't control. Falling Mark Sword Rune. Yemo knew how terrifying his Falling Mark Sword Rune was now. If he couldn't control it, this sword rune might backlash him. But Yemo was facing a half-primordial essence. If he held back, it was suicide. This half-primordial essence immediately felt Yemo's Falling Mark Sword Rune. He could immediately tell it was related to Great Primordial God Rune. After realizing that Yemo knew Great Primordial God Rune, he was instead very happy. He knew that Great Primordial God Rune could be passed down. If it really was Great Primordial God Rune, then even if Yemo was a pill divine, he would still kill Yemo. The Great Primordial God Rune was no small matter. Even he could resist his desires for it. The 300 m long twisted sword rune swept the entire void. This sword rune seemed much smaller than the one before, but the lethal force was bigger than the 300 km long purple sword ray. The void was instantly bound by the god rune, and this soul-piercing destructive killing intent pierced everything. The half-primordial essence who didn't consider Yemo to be much of a threat was shocked and scared after seeing the twisted sword rune. At this moment, he felt the sword rune set gaze on all over his body. At this moment, the Aquarius Divine Emperor's white ruler turned into this heavenly screen that was going to block the destructive sword rune out. Yemo was shaking all over his body. The half-primordial essence didn't give him this feeling. He felt that he couldn't control this sword rune. This sword rune was too scary. Yemo was certain that if he could master it, he only needed to use Instant Second and then Golden Arrow of Divine Extermination, and he would definitely be able to kill this half-primordial essence. However, he couldn't control this god art, much less use other god art. Yemo really wanted to keep using this sword rune, but he knew that if he continued, his mind would be Tom. He was only a Tao Actualization Divine Emperor, but he knew a god art far beyond that of Tao Actualization Divine Emperor. Yet, his Zisu could release such god art. When there was cracking sounds in Yemo's sea of consciousness, Yemo no longer dared to let this sword rune rampage. He forcefully stopped the destructive lethal force of the sword rune. He knew that if this continued, he would definitely be able to kill his half-primordial essence. He didn't even need to use Golden Arrow of Divine Extermination. At the same time, he knew that after killing this half-primordial essence, he would be backlashed by this sword rune. Even if he didn't die, his sea of consciousness would explode. He would become an idiot. Rumble. When the sword rune clashed with the white screen, cracks appeared in the surrounding void. Yemo's clothes shattered and his sea of consciousness made cracking sounds. The powerful God Essence backlash sent Yemo flying. The broken planet could no longer handle such power, and was destroyed. The half-primordial essence spat many mouthfuls of blood and his clothes were completely torn. He was covered in blood. Clearly, he was injured more. Yemo forced down the pain in his sea of consciousness, and was about to release the golden arrow of divine extermination when he heard a furious roar. "Who destroyed my house? I'm going to kill you, bastard!" Yemo saw that amidst the pieces of the planet a monk emitting golden light around his body shot out. He had no clothes but the golden light wrapped him. The half-primordial essence was closer to him than Yemo. Yemo saw this monk grab at the half-primordial essence and roared, "I'm going to crush you, insect! How dare you destroy my house!" Yemo wasn't shocked that this monk was hiding in this barren planet. He often did that too. However, Yemo was shocked that this monk easily grabbed this half-primordial essence like an insect. The half-primordial essence couldn't resist at all. Yemo didn't dare to stop at all now. He swept up some dark ray and disappeared into the void. The instant he went in, he saw the half-primordial essence getting crushed to pieces. A mere Tao actualization dares to run? Do you think my head is still clumsy?" The monk's hand loosened and the half-primordial essence's storage ring and small world was taken. Everything else completely disappeared. The monk grabbed at the direction Yemo went. A huge crack appeared in the void. The monk stepped in immediately, but then he murmured, "This kid is really cunning, but don't even think about running from me." He was in no rush to grab Yemo. Instead, he took out some materials from the storage ring and they instantly turned into a complete set of Buddhist robes. When Yemo went into the crack, he felt like his sea of consciousness was going to explode. Yemo ate a few spirit sense recovery pills and hacked out Zisu. Another crevice appeared in the void, and Yemo charged in without hesitation. Yemo kept hacking at the void with Zisu and going in. He was extremely experienced at running. He knew that for someone who could crush a half-primordial essence with one hand, even if he used all his means, he wouldn't be able to hurt this guy at all. Yemo didn't like the feeling of his life being controlled by someone else. His only line of life was to run away before that person could react. He couldn't escape in the same realm. He had to keep tearing open the void. In the shortest time, he opened more than 10 voids. Yemo felt his sea of consciousness was almost about to explode. He knew he couldn't keep doing this anymore. He didn't know what sort of void he was in right now. When he saw an asteroid group fly over, Yemo stuck onto one without hesitation and entered the Golden Page world. The Golden Page world seeped into the asteroid and disappeared into the endless dark void. At this moment, that monk had put on Buddhist robes. He patted his sleeves and said in contempt, "I want to see how a mere Tao actualization can escape to? How dare you destroy my house?" However, before he finished, his face changed. His spirit sense pierced many void realms but didn't find any signs of Yemo. "He got away?" This monk said in shock and then suddenly tore the space next to him and stepped in. He scanned out with his spirit sense again. The reason he wasn't scared of Yemo getting away was because his spirit sense could piece more than 10 void realms. Even if Yemo used magic artifact to tear open the void, Yemo wouldn't be able to escape his spirit sense range in a short time. But now, Yemo really was gone. "I could tell you were a slippery one. Count yourself lucky today. I can't be bothered wasting my time on a slippery eel like you. I have business to do, but what a waste of a good sword," the monk said and disappeared. 3 days later, Yemo came out of the Golden Page world, but his sea of consciousness still hadn't recovered. But with the Chaos Tree, he was much better than before. Yemo didn't feel too much danger coming out, but he didn't dare to be careless. He released Zisu and dashed away. Yemo guessed that monk was probably a primordial essence divine emperor. Only a primordial essence divine emperor would be this terrifying. A primordial essence divine emperor would have no trouble tearing open void. How would Yemo dare to stay here? Plus Yemo didn't know where he was right now. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., Please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2192 How Time Have Passed. Chapter 2192 How Time Have Passed. 3 years later, Emo stopped. He didn't know how many voids he had, but he knew he was at the lowest level realm right now. Emo knew that if he went around randomly like this, then he would get nowhere even in 3,000 years. Xiao He's Guangyuan Palace location bead was powerful, but it couldn't locate it through countless realms. For such low-level realm void, Emo believed that when his sea of consciousness completely recovered, his spirit sense would be able to easily pierce the realms. He would recover his sea of consciousness first. Emo chose another asteroid and controlled the Golden Page world to go in. What Emo didn't expect was that when he tried to use Dark Weed to repair his sea of consciousness directly, it was better than using Corner Soul Weed pill. Emo rejoiced like crazy. His sea of consciousness rarely had sustained such injuries before. Usually it would recover with some pills. But this time, his sea of consciousness was injured so heavily not due to the half-primordial essence but because he used Zisu to use a god art beyond his capabilities. The Dark Weed started to repair his sea of consciousness. Emo felt the Chaos Tree emit endless life force to support the Dark Weed in the reparation process. Emo felt that as his sea of consciousness was repaired, there was significant change. His sea of consciousness seemed to be forming a new world. Emo suddenly started to use the Spirit Will 9 transformations. His sea of consciousness was covered and a whole new world appeared in Emo's will. The Chaos Tree suddenly moved to the sea of consciousness. His spirit sense multiplied like crazy. His sea of consciousness world rapidly completed. When the last crevice was filled, Emo could sense this extremely powerful joyful feeling. His spirit sense was even easier to use. Spirit Will 9 transformations went through Nirvana? Emo murmured to himself. A year later, Emo's sea of consciousness completely recovered and his Spirit Will 9 transformations reached 6th transformation Nirvana. His sea of consciousness expanded like crazy, and his spirit sense became stronger. Emo then greeted Mu Xiaoyun and left the Golden Page world confidently. Emo scanned his spirit sense out in the void. He wanted to know if his powerful spirit sense could yet penetrate low-level void realms. When his spirit sense saw things his eyes couldn't see, Emo knew that his spirit sense could barely penetrate a realm here. If it was before he saw the Golden Monk, Emo would be joyful, but now Emo knew this was nothing. There were many people stronger than him in the vast universe. And he knew that his spirit sense was penetrating the weakest realm. This void was countless times weaker than even the void realm of the cultivation realm. Cosmos? When Emo saw Cosmos in his spirit sense, he immediately rejoiced. Cosmos was different to void. There were countless planets in the cosmos, and this meant the existence of life. Emo immediately tore open this void realm and appeared in the cosmos. Countless planets appeared in his sea of consciousness. Most of them were lifeless planets. In this cosmos, there was no god spirit chi nor immortal spirit chi. Even spirit chi was extremely scarce. Emo scanned his spirit sense out slowly, and when he saw the moon, he became very excited. The next moment he saw Earth. Emo didn't expect that after tearing through countless voids, he didn't find the abyssal realm but came back to Earth. This was Earth a few hundred years later. It had undergone huge change. Emo immediately called out Xiaoyun. Xiaoyun had never been to Earth. He was going to take her to see. Even though it had changed, it was still where he once lived. Husband, we're in the cosmos? The spirit chi is so scarce here. Mu Xiaoyun asked in surprise. Emo sighed. I'll take you to see where I lived before. A few hundred years passed. I've really never expected I could come back here. Mu Xiaoyun reacted and asked in surprise and joy. Husband, we're at Earth? Emo nodded. Not yet, but soon. A few hundred years. Ninghai City still had its name, but the entire city was much prettier than before. Emo took Mu Xiaoyun to the house he lived in before. It had become a square, and the house he lived at before became a tourist spot. There were some tourists taking photos inside and eating at the stalls outside. "Husband, you used to live here?" Mu Xiaoyun looked at this small house and asked. Yemo nodded. "Yes, this place left me with many memories." He thought of Qingxue and then Susu. Since he was here, it would be very easy to go back to Luoyu. Then, he would take Qingxue, Luoying and everyone to the immortal realm. But soon, his eyes dimmed down and sighed. "What's wrong, husband?" Mu Xiaoyun asked. "The place is still here but the people are not," Yemo exclaimed. Mu Xiaoyun held Yemo's hands and said softly, "Husband, Sister Qingxue and Luoying are all at Mou City. Don't worry. Perhaps they have ascended to the immortal realm already." Yemo shook his head. "I'm not talking about them. Let's go. I'll take you to Luoyu City." Yemo's spirit sense scanned to Luoyu City. It was still extremely pretty, but Yemo saw no familiar person. When he left Luo City, he set up large spirit gathering formation and left behind many pills and spirit stones. But today, there was no one there. They either left the city or had passed away. It was due to this that Yemo felt extremely sad. No matter how powerful he was and how powerful his fortunes were, it would eventually turn to dust in the wake of time. One day, once he grasped time law in his hands, would he be truly eternal. Yemo finally realized now why time law was the strongest law. Yemo said in surprise. "What did you see?" Mu Xiaoyun asked. Yemo smiled. "Someone familiar, let's go see." "Perhaps I really am going." A middle-aged woman stood at the peak of a snowy mountain and murmured. She had spent a few hundred years in the Mei snow mountains here. Compared to other places, this place had more spirit qi, but despite this, she knew she had to leave. If Ning Siswang didn't leave her some spirit stones despite their conflict, she would definitely not be able to reach nascent soul state. But in this place, she was the only nascent soul cultivator. She couldn't even find someone to talk to. She couldn't even go back to the Chu family. The family would think she's a monster. Sigh. The woman felt she was too shameless when she did those things to Yemo for cultivation. As her cultivation level progressed, her life views were changing. She had lived a few hundred years and seen many changes and ages, but so what? She was still alone here. Ning Siswang told her to go Luoyu City, but she didn't have the face to go. "Chu Dan, I didn't expect you could reach nascent soul in such a spirit chi-arid place." Yemo's voice sounded behind her. The woman suddenly turned around and looked with extreme shock. She even forgot to use spirit sense. Even though she was just nascent soul primary stage, who on earth could appear behind her without her noticing? "Brother Yi." This woman knelt down without hesitation. If it was before, she would definitely think she was stronger than Yemo, but now she knew that even if she cultivated for a few lifetimes, she wouldn't be able to catch up to Yemo. This woman was Chu Dan, the one who used Chu family's Dragon Gate disc to get cultivation resources from Yemo. To be honest, Yemo looked down on her. But Yemo didn't want to bring this up anymore. After all, she was the only familiar person on Earth now. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2193 Past People No Longer Here. Chapter 2193 Past People No Longer Here. Yemo didn't even lift his hand, and Chu Dan felt a power lift her up. She quickly stood up, not daring to talk. She was guessing if this extremely beautiful woman next to Yemo was Ni Sishuang's sister Ning Qingxue. She felt ashamed of herself. It was quite hard of you to reach nascent soul state in such a place. Yemo sighed. Chu Dan quickly said, "That's because Siswang pitted me and helped me a lot. Even my storage ring is given by her." "Where is Siswang? How come I don't see her?" Yemo was planning to find Ning Siswang. "Siswang told me Luoyu City didn't have enough cultivation resources. She was going to the small world and enter Luoyu continent from there." But Yemo felt curious. The Duanheng Range's teleportation formation was broken. How did people go to the small world? Chu Dan said. Sis Wang and them used a subtle teleportation formation to enter the small world. It's said that the formation was found by Brother Ye's friend Wu Dao. Wu Dao told Sis Wang and them. Is Wu Dao monk still alive? Yemo was extremely shocked. Wu Dao was no cultivator, he was a martial artist. Chu Dan answered. Wu Dao reached real great heaven state and went to Luoyu City to find you, but he couldn't, so he could only go to Sis Wang. Thinking he was your friend, Sis Wang gave him a jade slip and told Wu Dao how to check it. However, Wu Dao's talent was very absurd. In just a few decades, he used the cultivation method to write a martial cultivation method. 100 years later, he used it to reach a higher level. Hearing this, Yemo quite admired Wu Dao. His talent was terrifying. He wrote his own cultivation method and broke through. Chu Dan continued. Then, he roamed the world and found that teleportation formation. He knew it was a teleportation formation and then went to Luoyu to find Sis Wang. Sis Wang was the strongest person in Luoyu City at the time. She was also experienced in formation. She went with Wu Dao to that teleportation formation. The teleportation formation was broken, but Sis Wang managed to repair it. Yemo breathed easy and asked, So you're saying Sis Wang and them went to the small world? Chu Dan nodded. Not everyone went, only some. Sis Wang said that the reason the formation was broken was due to using bad quality spirit stones to power it. Sis Wang also said that it had become a single-direction teleportation formation as the other side didn't have any resonance. This means that there's always people using that teleportation formation? Yemo asked, and then before Chu Dan answered he said, I understand. He realized. It was Yunzi's Magical Continent Merchant Association that used it frequently. Her father Yun Dongxia used low-grade spirit stones to power the teleportation formation. He didn't expect Ning Xishuang's formation talent was this powerful. Although the small world was close to Earth, it wasn't easy to repair such formation. Yemo sighed. He knew that only some people went, as most people were at their age limit. Not everyone could reach Golden Core state. That way, their life would be limited. What do you plan to do? Yemo looked at Chu Dan and asked. He didn't understand why she didn't leave with Ning Sis Wang. Chu Dan looked down and said, After I reached Foundation Establishment, my mindset was completely different to before. When I saw my kins leave me one by one, I felt very bad. I wanted to stay here with them more. Years passed like that. Eventually, I really had no spirit stones left. If I keep staying here, I really might not be able to leave. Then, I went to the teleportation formation. I found that there was more problems with it. I don't understand formation, so I can only stay and study formation. Even now, I have no confidence in leaving, but I know I have to leave. Yemo took out a storage ring to Chu Dan and said, There's some spirit stones and immortal crystals as well as pills and cultivation method. Keep it. I'll send you to the small world first. There's a teleportation formation at Xi and Jia Mountain that can teleport you to Luoyu Continent. Immortal crystals. Chu Dan's hands were shaking. She realized that if she still had the same mentality as before, Yemo would leave after just a few words. He would definitely not leave a storage ring like this. Yemo had immortal crystals. Without a doubt, he was an immortal. Thank you, Brother Yi, thank you, sister. Chu Dan quickly bowed to Yemo and Mu Xiaoyun. Yemo waved his hand. I'll send you to the small world, but I need to remind you there's really danger everywhere on Luoyu Continent. You would be ambushed if you're not careful. If you feel cultivation is hard, you can go to Mou City. It's a cultivation city I built. Okay, thank you, Brother Yi, I'll remember that. Chu Dan said. She was shocked that Yemo actually built a city in the cultivation realm. How much power would that need? Did he come back to the cultivation realm after ascending? From what she learned from Ning Xishuang, immortals who ascended can never come back to the cultivation realm due to world laws. World law suppression? She looked at Yemo in shock. How come he looked completely fine? The realm here was lower than the cultivation realm, the suppression should be greater. What's wrong? Yemo asked, seeing Chu Dan looking at him in shock. Chu Dan quickly said, Nothing. Moments later, she couldn't resist asking, Brother Yi, I heard immortals would be suppressed by world laws when they came back to the cultivation realm. Since Brother Yi has immortal crystals, you're clearly, then how? Yemo smiled. You're right, but once your cultivation level reaches a certain level, this suppression is nothing. Yemo was Tao actualization peak stage peak. In a place like Earth, he has fused as one with the world. How could he be scared of law suppression? However, Mu Xiaoyun needed to stay by Yemo. Yemo's Tao waves would protect her. Otherwise, Mu Xiaoyun wouldn't be able to stay here. She would break the world laws. So that's it, I understand. Chu Dan sighed but didn't dare to ask Yemo's cultivation level. Seeing Chu Dan not ask any more questions, Yemo said, When do you leave here? I can leave now. Chu Dan answered. Good. Yemo grabbed and a dark crevice appeared before Chu Dan. Chu Dan immediately called out in shock. This is tearing open the void. Yemo didn't answer and grabbed her with God Essence giant hand and sent her into the crevice while saying, I'm sending you to Xian Jia Mountain. When you land, you can use spirit stones to activate the teleportation formation to Luo Yu continent. Yemo's voice disappeared while Chu Dan appeared at the outskirts of a mountain range. When she saw the words Xian Jia Mountain, the crack in the space disappeared. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2194 Must Not Lose Oneself. Chapter 2194 Must Not Lose Oneself. Yemo wanted to take Mu Xiaoyun to Luoyu City, but suddenly, he felt something and swiped in the void. An old-looking Taoist appeared before Yemo and Mu Xiaoyun. He carried a simple bamboo backpack. Yemo didn't feel it was strange to see Tianze here. Many confusions became clear with the appearance of him here. He was certain he had seen Tianze at Luoyu continent before. Mu Xiaoyun called out in shock. Tianze master! This old Taoist had been to her house and told her fortune. Haha, last time I said your luck was quite good. It had only been a few years and you're already immortal friends. Not bad, not bad. Tianze laughed. Mu Xiaoyun quickly bowed. Thank you for telling my fortune, Qianbei. Wanbei still has something to ask Qianbei. Did Qianbei know that Wanbei's husband will be husband, or did you predict that my husband's surname would be Yi? Tianze clearly knew what she meant and laughed. Your husband is Yemo, not that Yi Hoshin. You're quite nourishing of your husband. Your husband got quite a lot of benefits due to you. Please visit on our list novel. Calm hearing this, Yemo thought. Mu Xiaoyun was pure with spirit root. Was it not purely due to the golden page world that the bitter bamboo and yellow middle plum recognized him as master? Was it also due to Mu Xiaoyun? Thank you, Qianbei. Mu Xiaoyun said. Yemo also guessed that the stone stool was purposely left to him by Tianze. He thought of the words Tianze said the first time he spoke with him. Other than Chaos World, there's actually a fortune I couldn't tell. Impossible. Then, Tianze left, meaning that he knew he had Chaos World. He didn't even take the stone stool, clearly not because he forgot about it but because he left it for him. A powerful being like him didn't rob his Chaos World and instead left the 5-element stool to him. One could see that Master Tianze is definitely deserving of respect. Thank you for telling my fortune too. Yemo bowed and thanked. Yemo was confused that he still couldn't see through Master Tianze's cultivation level. It was just like before. Tianze seemed like an ordinary man. Tianze nodded. You didn't disappoint me. I believe you repaired the passage from the immortal realm to the divine Tao realm, right? To be able to do that, it means your cultivation level is at least about Tao molding divine emperor. Wanbei is just one step from Tao essence. Tianze Qianbei, how come I can't see your cultivation level? Yemo asked. Tianze said casually. I have no Tao foundation. In some years, I will be returning to dust. This world is yours. My only hope is that someone can repair the divine Tao realm and rebuild the glory of the human race. You're the person with the most absurd fortune I've seen. Perhaps one day you can repair divine Tao realm and lead the human race to glory. Qianbei, Wanbei has chaos. Guillemot wanted Tianzhe to enter his chaos world and take him from Earth. However, Tianzhe interrupted. This place is very nice. I often go out to tell fortunes. It's enough to feed me. Don't waste what I gave you and don't waste what you already have. No matter what cultivation level you reach, you can be prideful but you must not lose yourself. Yes, Wanbei will remember this. Guillemot said. Master Tianzhe laughed and said, Don't ask about my past and don't worry about my future. The future is yours. I'm going. If one day you perfect the divine Tao broken realm and I'm still alive, perhaps you can see me again. Tianzhe said and disappeared from Guillemot. He never asked Guillemot for a Tao fruit nor crystal. Guillemot wanted to give him but Tianzhe stopped him before he could even say it. Guillemot didn't use spirit sense to check where Tianzhe left. He only had respect for Tianzhe. Mu Xiaoyun and him looked at the direction Tianzhe disappeared and stood for a day before leaving. Luoyu City was still the same but more prosperous than before. Luoyu Lake was still the same but it was covered by formation. Tourists could only tour on the outside. Guillemot took Mu Xiaoyun past the formation and came inside. Husband, I see your room. There's a jade slip and storage ring inside. Mu Xiaoyun's spirit sense scanned in immediately. Guillemot saw his room too. Guillemot picked up the jade slip and looked in. Brother-in-law, I'm Sis Wang. I was able to wait till you came so we're going to Luoyu continent. There's Auntie Muan, Uncle Guiqi, Uncle Li Sandao, Ning Feifei and Wu Dao Qianbei. My parents have passed away. Tang Qianping, Huan Yinian City Lord, Lu Lin Auntie, Uncle Fang Wei, Yu Miaodan, Xin Qian and Uncle Shi Xiu had all passed away. I don't know if brother-in-law can see this jade slip. I know those uncles and aunties are brother-in-law's best friends. Brother-in-law would be very sad to see this jade slip. Death is inevitable in life, this is the natural law. Don't be too sad, brother-in-law. Guillemot rubbed his wet eyes. How could he not understand this logic? Those people were his right arms. They sweated for the construction of Luoyu but now, only he was left. Mu Xiaoyun's spirit sense scanned in. She felt Guillemot's sadness and held his hands. Husband, we'll go to their graves and see. Guillemot's spirit sense scanned to a public graveyard next to Luoyu Lake. There was formation protecting it but it was built to be very pretty and grand. Brother-in-law, inside the storage ring are things Dad and Mum left for my sister. A part of it is what Auntie Tang Qianping left for Sister Wan Qing. We left from the teleportation formation in Mai Snow Mountains. Don't worry about us. We'll soon be able to find brother-in-law and sister. By the way, not long after you came back last time, a woman called Wendong came and brought some things to brother-in-law. I was scared it would be lost so I kept it with me. When I see brother-in-law I will give it to you. There's also another woman called Ning. She lives in Luoyu City, and she came to find brother-in-law. Hearing that you weren't here, she said if brother-in-law sees her little sister in Jiqi, please look after her. Guillemot was lost in thought. He seemed to see Wendong wearing shades. At the same time, Ning and Jiqi floated before his eyes as well as Shi Xiu whom he got along with the most and his brother Yixing who was nowhere to be seen. After a few hundred years, these scenes cleared up before him. Guillemot sighed. He felt he was too careless. Last time when he came back and didn't find Wendong, he really thought she didn't exist. Putting these away, Guillemot took Mu Xiaoyun to the graveyard and took out some immortal flowers and bowed. Those were his kin, friends and brothers. Even though he was a Tao Vindication Divine Emperor, there were still many things he couldn't control. Husband, Mu Xiaoyun called worriedly. Guillemot came back to his senses and held Mu Xiaoyun's hands and said softly, Let's go. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2195 Go Down to the Abyss, Find. Chapter 2195 Go Down to the Abyss, Find. In the small world, outside the Liangji Valley, Mu Xiaoyan pointed. Husband, I was taken by Elder Feng from here. Yemo cursed. I should have checked nearby. Mu Xiaoyan said softly. Husband couldn't do that before. Your spirit sense wasn't that strong before. Let's go visit Ice Lake. Yemo thought about the tablet Xiaoyan left at the ice lake and sighed. Mu Xiaoyan shook her head. I don't want to go back. Let's go to Luoyu continent. Do we teleport over? Yes, my spirit sense can't cross the void realm of the cultivation realm, but we can use Xianjia Mountain to teleport to Luoyu continent. 5 minutes later, Yemo stood on the teleportation formation at Xianjia Mountain. Mu Xiaoyan stayed in the Golden Page world. The teleportation formation had been protected by constructions. However, the spirit chi here had been used up. Without top-grade spirit stones, the teleportation formation wouldn't be able to be used. Yemo glanced at the formation and knew that the recent uses were probably by Ning Sis Huang and Chu Dan. Yemo put down a few spirit stones and a light barrier activated from the teleportation formation, sweeping Yemo away. Yemo's spirit sense could clearly feel the space changing. He could even leave the teleportation whenever he wanted without being affected. This is Shadow Swamp Valley, this isn't Luoyu continent. A faint bleach came over and Yemo immediately knew this was Xinqiang continent. The two continents were very close. It was no problem for Yemo to get over there. Yemo's spirit sense scanned to Lotus Glory sect Guangjie. He also saw Hao Qiuming and Yuhe. Even Lu Zhai was body condensation state cultivator. Guangjie was truth realization state peak stage. She could ascend to the immortal realm at any time. Yemo was very happy. Since he was here, he planned to take Mu Xiaoyun to Lotus Glory sect to see. At this moment, his spirit sense broke open the realm of the Shadow Swamp Valley. Abyssal realm? In this dark and gray world, there was just dull gray sand. Yemo was very excited. If Qi Wanqi entered the abyssal realm, she would have definitely entered from here. Going to find Qi Wanqing's soul from here was much more reliable than the jade slip Chao Zhe gave him. Yemo no longer had the mood to go Lotus Glory sect. He took out a formation disc and a storage ring and crossed countless space and placed it before Guangjie. He left a last word before tearing open the world to abyssal realm. Ever since Yemo came to Xinqiang continent, the Lotus Glory sect was at its prime. It had become the #1 sect of Xinqiang continent. Guangjie was very happy with the current Lotus Glory sect. She could ascend to the immortal realm. Due to Yemo's relationship, she became the dominating truth realization state elder of the sect. She was having a sect meeting right now. There was only truth realization states present. At this moment, a Essence Chi giant hand suddenly appeared in the palace. This shocked everyone and they all wanted to get up. Wait! Guangjie felt a sense of familiarity. She knew this Essence Chi giant hand belonged to Yemo. She quickly got up and said. A formation disc and storage ring was placed before Guangjie while Yemo's voice sounded. I don't have time to come to Lotus Glory sect. This formation disc will be Lotus Glory sect protection formation disc. The things inside the storage ring are payback for Xiaoyun's cultivation resource. Xiaoyun is with me now. We don't have time to come back. I'll say hello to everyone for Xiaoyun. Lu Zhai is Wanqing's friend, please take care of her elder Guangjie. At the same time, congratulations on your impending ascension to the immortal realm. I have a sect in Gonghua heaven called Mou Immortal Sect. If Guangjie can't find a sect, you can go to my sect first. Then, Yemo's voice faded away. It's Yiqian Bei, Yiqian Bei. Yemo's voice sounded and almost all the truth realization states got up in surprise and joy. They all bowed towards the storage ring and formation disk left by Yemo. Guangjia couldn't control her excitement. She didn't expect to finally hear Yemo's voice before she ascended to the immortal realm. Although Yemo didn't come personally, his voice came. The dark gray sand extended out from his feet. It was extremely messy and boundless. Even with Yemo's powerful spirit sense, he couldn't see an end. Some low-level souls felt Yemo's spirit sense and hid on the side timidly. A powerful suppression came. Yemo could feel his cultivation level seep away rapidly. It not only suppressed his cultivation level, but the law was so powerful that he would be pushed away if he wasn't careful. Yemo was certain even half primordial essence wouldn't be able to stay here. He used his body as the Tao foundation to fuse with chaos and vindicate the chaos Tao. Yet, even such a powerful Tao almost made him unable to stay. Yemo desperately used Three Birth Chant. Even the Chaos Tree helped Yemo fuse with the world law here. Soon, Yemo felt his cultivation level stabilize before regaining his lost cultivation level. The world laws he didn't know before were gradually felt by him. Yemo breathed easy and took out the map Chao Zhe gave him. He found there was nothing similar to here on the map. Yemo wasn't too disappointed. He didn't rely on Chao Zhe at all. Perhaps this guy just wanted to kill him. How could he give the complete Abyssal Realm map to him? Yemo's spirit sense expanded out. Yemo believed that if he came in contact with Wanching Soul, the familiarity would allow him to recognize her immediately. Yemo's spirit sense scanned a radius for a few million kms but still found no trace of her soul. Yemo's spirit sense could reach further, but he didn't do this. That might make him miss important information. If he wasn't too careless when he went back to Earth, he wouldn't have not found Wendong. Yemo kept going forward. A few days later, Yemo stopped at a dark desert. This desert was boundless too and filled with numb souls. Some were even starting to cripple. Yemo realized that even if souls went into the Abyssal Realm, they might cripple. Yemo felt melancholic. Wanqing was only Golden Core State when she died. How could a Golden Core State soul last a few hundred years here? A dark-robed cultivator suddenly appeared in one corner of the desert. Yemo had never seen beings with bodies. He had only seen souls in the Abyssal Realm, but this cultivator had a complete body. Yemo immediately could tell this cultivator cultivated in cultivation method, and he was truth realization state. Yemo crossed tens of thousands of km with one step and came before this black-robed cultivator. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2196 World Mountain. Chapter 2196 World Mountain. This dark-robed cultivator wore dark cultivator robes and was circulated with dark chi. However, the difference between their power was too great. When Yemo stopped in front of him, he suddenly realized that there was someone in front of him. Xianbei, this black-robed cultivator said shakily. Even though Yemo didn't exert any pressure, he could feel Yemo was countless times stronger than him. Where did you come from? What are you doing here? Yemo asked. His spirit sense saw that the black-robed cultivator's bag, it was filled with all sorts of souls. Some of them were rather condensed and conscious. Not all souls that were here had no conscious. Many souls wanted to use the Abyssal Realm to enter their next life, so they came here. This cultivator just collected conscious souls clearly so he could turn them into soul artifacts. Yemo detested such cultivator the most. If it wasn't that he wanted to ask this guy a few questions, he would have thrown a fireball already. Wanbei comes from the Abyssal Realm. I'm here to collect some souls for cultivation. The black-robed cultivator answered respectfully. Yemo frowned. This place isn't the Abyssal Realm? The man quickly answered. This is the Nether Realm. People outside often confuse the Abyssal Realm with the Nether Realm. There's such difference? What's the difference? Yemo immediately realized that Chao Zhe didn't tell him the truth. The man took out a jade slip and marked some things and gave it to Yemo. How do you use souls to cultivate? Yemo glanced at his soul bag. My cultivation method requires to boil souls to soul liquid and use this liquid to cultivate. The cultivator said as if this was the most natural thing in the world. Yemo immediately thought of Chi Wanqing's soul. This person used souls to cultivate. How many souls would he be killing every day? Who knew if he killed the soul of someone he knew? Feeling Yemo's killing intent rise, the black-robed cultivator turned to run immediately. Before he even left 3 meters, he saw a fireball fly over. He couldn't resist this fireball at all. Then, Yemo's spirit sense fell on this jade slip. Moments later, Yemo had an understanding of the abyssal and nether realm. Nether realm was the place for rebirth into the next life. The abyssal race was a race like the human race or beast race. Many souls would be swept into the nether realm, or they would come here on their own accord. At the nether realm, they would need to go to the samsara bridge if they wanted to reincarnate. Some cultivators with stronger souls and cultivate to strengthen their soul and cultivate an abyssal body and enter the abyssal realm, becoming a member of the abyssal race. There were countless souls in the nether. Some were cultivating, some roamed around seeking fortunes, but it was the minority that could cultivate an abyssal body and enter the abyssal realm. Most headed to the samsara bridge. Yemo didn't hesitate. If Chi Wanqing wanted to reincarnate, she would definitely head to the samsara bridge. She would definitely not cultivate abyssal cultivation method. Yemo immediately wanted to go to the bridge, but then he realized he didn't know where it was. Yemo waved and tens of souls appeared before him. Which of you know where the samsara bridge is? Yemo sent his will. A condensed soul carefully sent a message. The samsara bridge is everywhere. What did this mean? The soul seemed to know Yemo's power and answered without Yemo asking. Any soul that enters the nether realm will be able to see the samsara bridge when they want to reincarnate. Then they only have to walk that way. Some people would walk there in a few steps while some would take a few thousand years. Yemo realized what this was. This was space law that joined with the consciousness of countless souls. When a soul wanted to reincarnate, the space law would appear before them. What seemed like a few steps would help them cross countless distance. Yemo's spirit sense asked another question. I want to go to the samsara bridge, but I can't see it. How do I go over? All the souls fell silent. None of them knew how Yemo could go. An extremely faint soul suddenly sent a message. I don't want to keep staying here. I want to go reincarnate. Qianbei, if you can see my body, then come with me. Otherwise, I won't be able to help you. The soul said, and its figure became even dimmer. Yemo's spirit sense followed this soul closely. A subtle bridge appeared in Yemo's spirit sense. Yemo almost called out in shock. Wasn't this the life-crippling bridge he saw at the God Necropolis domain? How did it appear here? But then Yemo realized this wasn't the life-crippling bridge. They did look very similar, but they weren't the same. Yemo's figure flashed and disappeared from his spot. Tens of days later, a dark figure suddenly appeared in Yemo's spirit sense. Yemo just watched that soul a bit, and then the soul he was following disappeared. The samsara bridge was gone too. Yemo wasn't annoyed. He knew the approximate location of the samsara bridge. He just needed to head along that direction and he would be able to find it. Plus, he was countless times faster than that soul. Yemo watched this shadow more. He felt this shadow was familiar. Yemo sped up towards that huge black shadow. In less than 15 minutes, Yemo appeared at the black shadow. It was an extremely huge mountain. Yemo couldn't even see where the border of this mountain was. Yemo was confused. How could he feel familiarity to a mountain? He walked a few more steps and came to the foot of the mountain. He formed his God Essence giant hand and wanted to break a piece off the mountain. But when his hand touched the mountain, Yemo's face changed into extreme joy. This was World Mountain. This definitely was the World Mountain. Yemo knew this World Mountain definitely wasn't the World Mountain he saw at the Truth Fall Palace. This World Mountain was countless times bigger than the one in the cultivation realm. Their structure was completely different too. This was probably the real World Mountain. Yemo landed on the mountain excitedly. He had decided to take this away and forge it into the divine Tao realm meridian. Yemo believed with his Tao actualization peak stage power, it would be fine to use formation to take it into his golden page world. When Yemo started to spirit control this world mountain, he realized how naive he was. 10 days later, Yemo realized that even if he spent a few million years, he wouldn't be able to spirit control one bit of the world mountain nor use formation to take it away. The world mountain's laws were incomplete, and it couldn't be spirit controlled. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2197 Samsara Tao. Chapter 2197 Samsara Tao. Yemo stood on the top of the world mountain and circulated half of it. When he saw a huge ditch at the waist of the mountain, he instantly realized. This was the world mountain, but because a piece of it was dug away, its laws weren't complete. If he wanted to spirit control this world mountain, he would have to find the piece that was dug away. Not a piece of it can be missing. How could Yemo not realize that the black world mountain he saw in the Truth Fall Palace was the piece missing? He would have to find that missing piece, but the world mountain flew away. Where would he find that? Who dug a piece of the world mountain away? The guy who dug the piece away definitely wasn't able to take away the world mountain, so he dug a piece in his fury. But even so, that person wasn't simple. The bigger the world mountain was, the tougher it was. This was the original body of the world mountain. Even if he dug with full force, he might not be able to dig a piece away. Yemo looked at this world mountain reluctantly, and could only leave a spirit sense mark here. When he found the missing piece, he would come back and spirit control it. At this moment, countless souls gathered before the Samsara bridge. They didn't go into the bridge not because they didn't want to, but because they had to pay a few abyssal crystals to get on. Read more new novels on List Novel. Abyssal crystal was the cultivation resource for souls. In the abyssal realm, there pretty much was no spirit items. Souls would have to rely on abyssal crystals to cultivate. Those who didn't have abyssal crystals would have to go search the vast abyssal realm. As time went on, those souls would gradually lose their consciousness and dissipate from the abyssal realm. At the same time, even powerful souls would experience danger collecting abyssal crystals. Sometimes, many conscious souls would rush up together. No matter how powerful you were, you would be torn apart. When souls had a certain level of power, they would be killed by the samsara law of the samsara bridge if they kept staying here. The most dangerous thing about the samsara bridge was that every once in a while, if you were close to the bridge, you would be swept on regardless if you want to reincarnate or not. So, collecting abyssal crystals before the bridge didn't happen all the time. Only souls with great power but no abyssal crystals to cultivate had to resort to this method. Now, there was such a soul before the samsara bridge. Yemo didn't release space-time boat, but he sped up towards the samsara bridge. With his current power, he didn't need space-time boat anymore. At the start, Yemo needed to mind his direction, but later on, he didn't need to as he sensed a powerful Tao wave chi. It was a domain he had never touched before. He even had the feeling that once he learned this Tao wave chi, he would reach Tao Essence Divine Emperor. But she could only shake as she watched Yemo, hoping Yemo would recognize her. She really wanted to stop herself from shaking, but she couldn't. The more she shook, the quicker her soul would dissipate. She couldn't even move. Powerful samsara Tao wave washed Yemo's consciousness. Yemo suddenly wanted to follow it, and jump down the samsara bridge. He felt it was really hard to stay on the bridge, and jumping down would make things very easy. At this moment, the chaos tree sent some life Tao wave, waking Yemo up instantly. He realized what he was doing. He was learning samsara Tao. As he felt the waves of samsara Tao, Yemo felt his Tao increase higher and higher. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2198 Number 1 God AR. Chapter 2198 Number 1 God AR 20 billion God crystals and 3 extreme grade God spirit range were thrown out by EMO. He even grabbed some of the chaos chi he collected. Powerful samsara Tao wave washed EMO_'s body, fusing with his original Tao wave. He started to perfect his Tao. The Tao waves slowly connected with the golden page world. The golden page world seemed to be changing. The change wasn't obvious, but it gave people a feeling of samsara. These God crystals and God spirit range turned into tidal waves of God spirit chi that was devoured whole by EMO. EMO grabbed 10 yellow middle plums and used them. The samsara chi grew vast and grand, from river to oceans. EMO's cultivation level kept rising. Rumble. EMO's sea of consciousness and body made a unanimous sound. The extremely clear samsara Tao was imprinted in his Tao. EMO suddenly waved his hand and tens of samsara Tao chi was grabbed in his hand. He took another step forward. When his 2 feet landed on the bridge, golden purple Tao wave rose up around him. The countless God crystals and God spirit ranges turned into pure white God spirit chi that dashed inside his Tao waves before disappearing. The world laws and Tao laws in the yellow middle plum fused with his Tao and became inseparable. Crack. After unknown amount of time, the samsara chi before EMO started to dim, or perhaps the chi had fused with him. It had become tame. The God crystals, God spirit range, chaos chi and yellow middle plum all turned to dust. So powerful feeling. EMO checked his cultivation level in shock, Tao essence tertiary stage. He didn't expect the nether realm would give him such huge fortune, allowing him to reach Tao essence. He skipped Tao essence primary stage and middle stage and reached tertiary stage. Was this the power of Tao essence? EMO felt his power. He was joyful and shocked at the same time. With his current power, he could instant kill the rest of the Tao essence divine emperors. Even if that half primordial essence came, EMO could easily kill him. EMO suddenly thought of that monk. He was beaten out of a barren planet. Was he a primordial essence divine emperor? How would he do against that monk? He didn't know, as he had fought the monk yet. Perhaps he wasn't as strong as the monk, but once he spirit controlled all 7 golden arrow of divine extermination and upgrade the rest of his god arts, he might not necessarily lose to that monk. EMO looked at the samsara bridge. He didn't continue forward. He came to find Chi Wan Qing. Who knew what would happen if he crossed the bridge? EMO turned around and was going to leave, but what shocked him was that the path behind him had disappeared. EMO didn't worry. He waved out invisible chi. It was his samsara Tao chi. Then, that disappeared entrance showed itself again. EMO then closed his eyes and didn't leave the bridge immediately. A few seconds later, EMO pushed out with his hand. The time in the space before him didn't stop. It slowly flowed backwards. The backflow of time was very brief, just 1 second, but it seemed to have moved the entire world. Samsara, EMO murmured. He was fusing the samsara chi into his instant second god art, forming a new god art, samsara. His samsara god art only had 1 second, but in the future, when he reached primordial essence, it won't just be 1 second. It will be 10 seconds, hundreds of seconds, or even countless years. Such powerful god art, such powerful law. Samsara god art originated from time law, but this god art had surpassed time law. It was at this new terrifying degree. EMO believed that one day, when his samsara god art was perfected, it would surpass the great primordial god rune and become the number 1 terrifying god art. It can instantly let one go into samsara or turn them into nothing. But EMO didn't rejoice. He was full of worry. Who was certain that he was the only one here? Who knew if other people learned samsara god art? What if he faced someone who also knew it? EMO shook. He would rather face a few primordial essence divine emperor than face a powerful being who knew samsara god art. EMO breathed and walked out of the samsara bridge. The souls at the side of the bridge were completely dazed. The reason Samsara Bridge was called Samsara Bridge meant that once you went on you could never return. Yet this person went on the Samsara Bridge and came back. Yemo looked around at the souls and didn't care. But Yemo's spirit sense didn't scan casually. He still wanted to see if Qi Wanqing was here. In just a few seconds, Yemo felt an extremely familiar qi. A shaky soul appeared in his spirit sense. The soul was shaking and its dim body seemed about to collapse at any time. Qi Wanqing, that's right. It was Qi Wanqing's soul. Yemo even felt his breathing pause. He didn't have much hope finding her here, but he really found her. Yemo felt his footsteps were extremely heavy. He couldn't even move. Qi Wanqing seemed to have felt Yemo's spirit sense. She was still shaking uncontrollably as her soul was getting weaker and fainter. Yemo, did he see me? Did he see me? What should I do? What should I do? Yemo only dazed for 1 second and dashed up to Qi Wanqing. At the same time, he turned a Heaven Heart Return Soul pill into mist and wrapped it around Qi Wanqing. Qi Wanqing's soul instantly condensed and grew even stronger. Qi Wanqing sent a shaky message. Brother Yi, did you come to find me? Yemo still felt his hands were heavy. He was a Tao Essence Divine Emperor, a Tao Essence Tertiary stage, and yet his hands were heavy. One could see how excited he was. Yes, Wanqing, sorry. I thought you were gone, but the heavens pitied me and allowed me to see you again before the Samsara Bridge. You don't need to worry anymore, come back with me. This nether realm isn't a place you should be in, Yemo said softly. He felt extremely guilty to Qi Wanqing. Her mother wanted to see her one last time but still passed away at Luoyu City. If he didn't save Qi Wanqing, there would be this mark in his heart. Qi Wanqing was just shaking and couldn't express anything. She wanted to cry, but she had no tears as she was just a soul. She wanted to thank that soul taxing at the bridge. If it wasn't for him, she might never be able to see Yemo. Yemo knew her soul was still very brittle, and if she was too agitated, who knew what would happen? Yemo carefully held her soul in his hand and looked around. A bold soul sent Yemo a message. Because a soul cultivator with abyssal body is taxing abyssal crystals here, many souls can't go into samsara. Yemo immediately scanned to the soul cultivator. In just a while, he would be able to get abyssal body. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2199 I'm happy I went through hardship. Chapter 2199 I'm happy I went through hardship. Seeing Yemo look over, that soul cultivator immediately shivered. Everyone saw how powerful Yemo was. This was an unimaginable being. Yet he offended this powerful being. Although without this cultivator, Qi Wanqing would have gone into samsara, but Yemo still grabbed this soul cultivator over. He waved his hand and dissipated the cultivator's partial abyssal body. Then Yemo threw the cultivator carrot bridge and said, If it wasn't that I was happy seeing Wanqing today, I will annihilate your soul immediately. Piss off to samsara. The soul cultivator didn't dare to argue a thing. He thanked and charged onto the samsara bridge. Go. Yemo looked at the countless souls and said. The rest of the souls quickly charged onto the samsara bridge. In a short while, the area in front of the bridge was empty. Yemo quickly left the samsara bridge and found a desert before dashing inside with the golden page world. Husband, is this Sister Wanqing? Mu Xiaoyun saw Yemo come in with the soul in his hand. Boss, it's a soul in your hand? Small Ginseng asked. Yemo nodded. Yes, wait outside for me. I'm going to save Wanqing first. Qi Wanqing's soul became more and more condensed after she was nourished by the Heaven Heart Return Soul pill. Yemo took her into the prettiest palace in the entire Golden Page world as fast as possible. Read latest chapters at Wuxia World. Qi Wanqing's body was laying in her bedroom in the palace. A branch of chaos tree was placed next to her that preserved the life force of her body. Qi Wanqing's soul woke up and looked at the body in the room in shock. How could she not know that was her body? Yemo not only took her soul back from the nether realm but also found her body. At this moment, Qi Wanqing suddenly felt that all that she had experienced didn't matter. At least Yemo remembered her and went into the nether realm just for her. Wanqing, don't talk. Your soul has left your body for a long time. It's not used to your soul, but don't worry, I have a lot of treasures. Just fuse into your body and leave the rest to me, Yemo said. Qi Wanqing's soul slowly entered her body. The chaos tree branch mid life force, and without Yemo needing to intervene, it instantly helped Qi Wanqing fuse into her body. Even so, Yemo didn't feel safe. He turned another heaven heart soul return pill into mist and fused it into Qi Wanqing's body. At the same time, Yemo put a soul-nourishing Dao fruit in her mouth. Her soul began to fuse and the Dao fruit emitted juice nourishing her meridians and essence spirit. In just 2 hours, Qi Wanqing opened her eyes. When she saw Yemo sitting right next to her, she could no longer resist her tears. She couldn't cry before, but now she just wanted to cry her heart out. Qi Wanqing couldn't say a single word now. Perhaps tears was the best language for her now. Yemo sat next to her and waited till she calmed down before saying slowly, Wanqing, stay with us. You don't need to run around anymore. Brother Yi, thank you. You spent so much effort on me, Qi Wanqing said. Not only did he find her body and soul, but she could also feel her life force was much stronger than her prime. Yemo definitely used the best treasure to help her. Yemo knew what she was thinking. Qi Wanqing had been living at the bottom of society on Xinjiang continent. Perhaps in her knowledge a small spirit herb was worth more than her. Wanqing. Yemo grabbed Qi Wanqing's hand and said, compared to living, everything else doesn't matter. I don't have anything good to give you. Do you see this branch? Qi Wanqing had long seen this green branch. She felt very intimate to this branch. It was as though it had accompanied her for countless years. This is my gift to you. You can place this branch in your dantian. Remember, without certain power, don't let people see you have this branch. This is the most precious thing in the entire universe. If people see it, then even Primordial Essence Divine Emperor would fight over it. Hearing this, Qi Wanqing quickly pushed the branch back into Yemo's hands. Brother Yi, I can't take this. Yemo quickly pushed her hand back. I have a big tree. Your branch was taken from my tree. Nourish it in your dantian. Perhaps it will become your strongest magic artifact in the future, or maybe it would turn into a huge tree like mine. Really? Hearing that only she and Yemo had this tree, Qi Wanqing was full of joy. Brother Yi, did you go to the Xinjiang continent just to find me? Qi Wanqing asked, and then suddenly thought of Little Wolf. Her eyes went red. Sorry, Brother Yi, the little wolf you gave me is dead. Little Wolf had stayed with her for many years and accompanied her when she was the loneliest. Yemo patted her hand and took out a wooden brush. I brought Little Wolf here too, and the phone number you gave me. Seeing the brush she gave Yemo was still kept by Yemo, Qi Wanqing could no longer resist her tears and started to cry in Yemo's arms. Suddenly, she felt that all the hardship she had gone through was nothing. Yemo pulled Qi Wanqing up. Wanqing, I'll take you to see Shaoyun and the world we'll be living in. Qi Wanqing got up and walked out of the room with Yemo. Such a pretty palace, so many flowers. These flowers. Qi Wanqing walked out and found that the flowers were filled with immortal spirit qi. She just needed to smell it, and her cultivation level was loosening. She wanted to sit in the flowers and cultivate. Mu Xiaoyun saw the two come out and came up to greet. Sister Wanqing has recovered. Qi Wanqing looked at Mu Xiaoyun for a long time before asking in disbelief. Your goddess Xiaoyun of Lotus Glory sect. She was the most protected prodigy of the Lotus Glory sect. Chapter 2200 Encountering Primordial Essence Again. Chapter 2200 Encountering Primordial Essence Again. Yemo took out a storage ring and gave it to Qi Wanqing. Wanqing, your cultivation level is a bit behind. Xiaoyun will help you to cultivate in the future. I've already prepared your cultivation method. If you're lacking pills, Emo suddenly called. Small Ginseng, come over. Small Ginseng ran over and said, Boss, I underscore am here. Whatever pills Wanqi need for cultivation, you need to give it to her in time. It must be pills without impurity, Emo said. Before Small Ginseng spoke, Qi Wanqing said, Brother Yi, I feel the spirit Qi here is dense to a new extreme. It's many times better than spirit stones. I don't even need pills to break through. I'll ask Small Ginseng when I need pills. The three chatted. Qi Wanqing had completely recovered, so Emo didn't keep the news of her mother's death from her. He also gave her what her mother left behind. Although Qi Wanqing knew that after all this time, her parents definitely wouldn't be around, but when she heard the news and got the things, her tears still rained down. A day later, Emo left the Golden Page world. Qi Wanqing stayed inside the Golden Page world to cultivate, with Mu Xiaoyun helping on the side. Emo was very happy that he didn't have to go to the Abyssal Realm to find Qi Wanqing. He didn't plan to go to the Abyssal Realm anymore despite wanting to kill that bleak Chao Zhe. Returning to Luoyu continent was the main thing for him. But when Emo wanted to find a way back, he frowned. He was lost. The Abyssal and Nether Realm were next to each other. There were no powerful beings in the Nether Realm, but powerful beings were everywhere in the Abyssal Realm. Emo didn't desperately go find a way out. He went back inside the Golden Page world. This time, he was going to completely spirit control the 36 lightning orbs and the 7 golden arrow of divine extermination. He was about to find a way out. If he went into the wrong place and entered the Abyssal Realm, he might encounter Primordial Essence Divine Emperor at any time. Primordial Essence Divine Emperor was third step Dao Vindication. The monk he met before was quite possibly a Primordial Essence Divine Emperor. Although Emo believed that if he encountered that monk again, even if he couldn't beat the monk, he wouldn't be killed. But in the depth of his heart, Emo felt he was a little weaker than the monk. He had to be careful. One small mistake might mean life or death. With the golden arrow of divine extermination, he would be able to protect himself. The golden arrow of divine extermination that he couldn't spirit control for a few years inside the time formation disk was now easily spirit controlled. A year later, Yemo's spirit controlled all the restrictions of the bow and arrow as well as the 36 lightning orbs. A few other magic artifacts he didn't often use were completely spirit controlled too, which included the adamantium great vehicle painting and How Heaven Drum. Emo planned to give the 36 lightning orbs to Emo, so Emo didn't test its power, but when Emo held the golden bow and arrow of divine extermination, he felt this unprecedented killing intent. Before the 7 arrows even shot out, the destructive killing intent already circulated the arrows. It was like an ancient monstrosity opened its mouth ready to kill. So powerful, Emo murmured. He didn't know what bones the arrows were made of. It was this terrifying. When he came back into the Nether Realm, Emo felt very confident. Even if he faced Abyssal Race Primordial Essence Divine Emperor, he would be able to defend himself. On top of that, his third Great Primordial God Rune had completed and the fourth one was about to come. The Great Primordial God Rune was already grown in his head. As his power grew stronger, the God Art would be gradually perfected. Emo just wanted to test the Great Primordial God Rune, and then use Space-Time Boat to find the tear in space when 2 explosions happened at the border of his Sea of Consciousness. The explosion was so scary that even his Sea of Consciousness was rumbling. Space seemed to have collapsed at where the explosion was. The next moment, 2 dashing lights appeared in his Sea of Consciousness. They were extremely fast, and in just a few seconds they would be before him. It was 2 people fighting? What people fighting would create such terrifying commotion? When Emo saw that the one behind was a monk with faint light, Emo released Space-Time Boat and disappeared from the spot without hesitation. He wouldn't be scared if there was just one Primordial Essence Divine Emperor, but now there was 2. This kid knows how to run. You came to the Nether Realm. Bad luck. Kid, you're dead. This monk saw Emo and chased without hesitation. The man hunting the monk saw the monk chase Emo and followed without hesitation. The three dashing lights were invisible. People could only feel space itself being sliced open by them. Yemo felt annoyed when the monk chased him again. Was this guy crazy? He didn't break the planet before. The person who broke it was killed by this guy already. Why was he still chasing him? Why was the guy chasing the monk so slow? If the two kept fighting, he would be able to get away. Jiao Dan, you bastard! How dare you run towards my abyssal realm? Stop! The man behind was extremely furious. The monk laughed. Green Hat, when did I go to your abyssal realm? I'm chasing this kid, can't you see? He broke my house, making me have no clothes to wear. If I don't kill him, how can I satisfy myself? The Green Hat Primordial Essence Divine Emperor didn't know that the monk really wanted Yemo's Zisu. Even though he was a Primordial Essence Divine Emperor, he had no Primordial Spirit artifact. But wasn't this kid Dao actualization? How come he appears to be Dao Essence Divine Emperor? Regardless, the monk didn't care. More than 10 days later, Yemo still couldn't get away from the monk's spirit sense range. Not only so, the two behind were getting closer and closer. He couldn't continue like this. Yemo used a transmission and tore open the space in front of him and went into another realm. He didn't need Zisu to tear open these low realms. Transmission useless. The monk sneered and didn't use transmission. He came to where Yemo disappeared from in just a few seconds and tore open space. Transmission wasn't very useful at primordial essence level, but this depended on the level of the transmission. Yemo didn't spend much effort on transmission. By the time he finished the transmission, the enemy would have flown over already. Yemo knew this too. His transmission was to tear open space. The Primordial Essence Divine Emperor behind saw both Yemo and the monk tore open space, so he chased without hesitation. Primordial Essence Master Spirit Sense could indeed cross these realms. Yemo felt helpless, but he had to keep running just to pull the distance apart. Yemo didn't know how many space he tore open, but the two chasing him were getting closer and closer. When Yemo's hands could no longer tear open space and could only use Zisu to hack, he knew there was no point in running. Space that even his hand couldn't tear meant that this was the top realm space. This place was filled with God's spirit chi. The chi here was very bleak and mixed with all sorts of Yin Dao laws. This quite possibly was the space of the abyssal realm. However, the suppression of the abyssal realm was gone with the slight use of three-birth chant. Little worm, why don't you keep running? Keep running. The monk came to Yemo as soon as Yemo stopped. At the same time, the person behind also came. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Hearing this, Jiao Dan said furiously, I'm Jiao Dan, not Jiao Dan. Little worm, if you keep calling me Jiao Dan, I'm going to eat you. TL note, Jiao Dan means fried egg. Hearing this, the green-haired primordial essence divine emperor's face calmed down instead. He quite liked seeing the monk angry. Jiao Dan waved his hand and 18 Buddhist beads appeared above his head. Immediately, this extremely suppressing world Dao wave appeared. It was as though any realm would be crushed when these Dao waves exploded. Seeing Jiao Dan about to attack, Yemo said to the green-haired man, Immortal friends, how about we join up and take out this burnt egg? I'll take his 18 Buddhist beads and you can have the rest. What do you think? The green-haired man's eyes lit up and he said immediately, Sure. As soon as he said this, a subtle mist tower appeared. He was certain that if he took care, the space here wouldn't crumble too bad. Seeing this, Yemo released Zisu without hesitation. A vast, powerful lethal force immediately loomed over the world. Jiao Dan's face changed and without hesitation, he tore open space and disappeared. Yemo had a helper now, and after being chased by this monk for so long, how could he let him go? He followed. This green-haired man clearly didn't want to let Jiao Dan go and also chased. The three had about the same speed. Yi Mo's cultivation level progressed rapidly. He was the slowest before, but later on, he was on the same speed as Jiao Dan. As the three kept tearing open space, Yi Mo was getting closer and closer to Jiao Dan. His speed was increasing. Running in the space void wasn't like other places. You couldn't shake people off by twisting and turning. The more you turned, the shorter the distance was. The three had come to the void again, and Jiao Dan finally felt Yi Mo's desperate feeling. Helplessly, he could only stop running. He knew that no matter how he escaped, he couldn't shake Yi Mo off. He guessed that Yi Mo didn't truly reach primordial essence, but now that Yi Mo could catch up to him, he was suspicious of his guess. Could a Tao Essence Divine Emperor really catch up to him? Before reaching primordial essence, it was impossible to use spirit sense to break a realm and know which direction he ran. Yi Mo's spirit sense at Tao Essence Tertiary stage was incredibly powerful, but it couldn't break open a realm yet. He didn't use spirit sense to follow Jiao Dan, he used the subtle changes in the void to track Jiao Dan. He reached down nourishment in the void and had the God Art 1 region. He was very sensitive to changes in the void. There was no way Jiao Dan could escape from him. The green-haired man didn't know this. His spirit sense pierced a realm to track, so he thought Yi Mo did the same. Due to this, he considered Yi Mo of his equal level. He knew Yi Mo was a human, of course. He didn't show it on his face, but he was very shocked that the human race suddenly had this powerful divine emperor. Little worm, just what do you want? 2 against 1, don't you feel ashamed? Jiao Dan said hatefully. The green-haired man sneered. Jiao Dan, you took our abyssal race thing. Spit it all out or I will kill you even if I chase you to death. Jiao Dan threw out a storage ring to the green-haired man. Len Shuqi, I'll give it back, okay? This kid has a lot of things, we can share it. Seeing the green-haired man take the storage ring, Jiao Dan said to Yi Mo. Kid, it's not 2 against 1 now. It's 1 versus 1. Let me see what power you have. 2 versus 1 against you. You overestimate yourself, Jiao Dan. Yi Mo said in contempt, and then said to the green-haired man, Immortal friend Len. You've already got part of the loot we discussed. I haven't gotten mine. I'll attack first. When this monk tries to run, stop him. Yi Mo knew things weren't good when the green-haired man took the storage ring. None of these primordial essence divine emperor were trustworthy. They just agreed to join up, but now he was hesitating after just taking a storage ring. So before the green-haired man could change, Yi Mo said that and used Falling Mark's sword rune with Zisu. A sword rune that completely twisted the void smashed down. This sword rune also sucked out all the life force in this space. Life force and space were completely destroyed and dissipated under this sword rune. Yi Mo was Tao Essence Tertiary stage and learned Samsara Tao. His sea of consciousness was very condensed. He created Falling Mark sword rune based on Great Primordial God rune. Now with the help of Zisu, it was subtly stronger than the Great Primordial God rune. Perhaps it was due to his Great Primordial God rune not being perfect that this happened. This sword rune seemed extremely focused, with Yi Mo expanding his Tao Essence realm domain. He knew Jiao Dan's power, so he used another Spirit Sense God Art, Great Primordial God rune. 2 Spirit Sense Great Primordial God rune attacked at Jiao Dan's Sea of Consciousness. Jiao Dan was shocked by Yi Mo's extremely vibrant Falling Mark sword rune, and now that 2 Great Primordial God rune attacked his Sea of Consciousness, how could he not treat Yi Mo as a primordial essence? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2202 Vindicate Tao Through Martial Arts. Chapter 2202 Vindicate Tao Through Martial Arts. When Yi Mo's Great Primordial God rune reached his Sea of Consciousness, his Sea of Consciousness instantly formed waves of cosmic ranges. These cosmic ranges wanting to stop Yi Mo's 2 Spirit Sense Great Primordial God rune. However, the Great Primordial God rune was too savage. It grinded the mountain ranges one by one. Even Jiao Dan's face changed greatly when he felt the terrifying destructive power of the great primordial god rune in his sea of consciousness. But there were too many mountain ranges and they were too dense. Yimo's too great primordial god rune was eventually stopped. Jiao Dan then breathed easy, but he was more careful. Yimo didn't expect this to get to Jiao Dan. If a primordial essence divine emperor was so easily ambushed, he wouldn't deserve to be primordial essence. Jiao Dan couldn't care that much. He forcefully smashed out his 18 Buddhist beads under Yimo's falling mark sword rune and realm domain, forming waves of Buddhist light. The Buddhist light instantly tore open Yimo's falling mark sword rune domain and smashed Yimo's realm domain, cracking. If it wasn't due to the spirit sense attack, Jiao Dan could even counter-attack. Despite this, the Buddhist light stopped the falling mark sword rune. Destructive chi expanded in the void. These destructive chi was brought about by Yimo's falling mark sword rune, but under the Buddhist light, it kept breaking and couldn't go into Jiao Dan's Buddhist light realm domain. Read more new novels on List Novel. Seeing Jiao Dan and Yimo in a stalemate, the green-haired man instantly released his mist tower and controlled the nearby void under the tower. Jiao Dan's face changed. The light of the 18 Buddhist beads burst out and smashed the falling mark sword rune away before he turned and disappeared. Just when the green-haired man wanted to run, he felt something wasn't right. This human kid should be chasing first. He was much faster than him when chasing Jiao Dan before. How come this time the kid didn't move? Thinking about this, the Abyssal Race Divine Emperor stopped. He found that Yimo didn't intend to chase indeed. "Why don't you keep chasing?" the green-haired Divine Emperor asked. Yimo sneered. "Why would I chase him? I've been played by you and you still want me to help? When did I play you?" The green-haired Divine Emperor's face sunk. Yimo sneered. "We agreed that we would take out Jiao Dan. I'll take the 18 Buddhist beads and you take the rest. But after Jiao Dan gave a storage ring to you, you even planned to kill me with him. Do you think I'm an idiot? Did I attack?" The green-haired Divine Emperor was feeling annoyed. How did this kid dare to talk to him like this? Yimo stared at him and said, "You didn't attack, but we're all not dumb. You dare to say you didn't plan to do that? If you attacked with me after getting the storage ring, would I doubt you? With your power, you should get ready to stop Jiao Dan from running. If you were prepared, could Jiao Dan get away? Even if he can, he would still get heavily injured." The green-haired Divine Emperor knew Yimo saw through what he thought and sneered. "Since you don't want to cooperate, then never mind, goodbye." "You want to leave like that? I don't think so." Just when the green-haired Divine Emperor wanted to go, he saw Yimo stop in front of him. The green-haired Divine Emperor was so angry he laughed. "Do you want to fight with me? Your great primordial god rune-derived sword rune might be strong, but I, Len Shuoqi, am not scared of you," Yimo said. "I didn't say you were scared of me, but just then Jiao Dan gave you a storage ring. If I didn't help chase him, would you be able to get it? I contributed, but you did show any gratitude?" The green-haired Divine Emperor was lost for words. He got back what he wanted, but Yimo got nothing. He was someone who only focused cultivation and wasn't good at arguing. Seeing this, Yimo continued, "The god spirit chi of the Abyssal Realm is really good. I wonder what that fried egg got in the Abyssal Realm, but he's quite cunning. He left as soon as he got wealthy. Our human race divine Dao realm isn't good enough, broken terrain everywhere. What do you want?" The green-haired Divine Emperor felt a little scared. If this guy really went around the Abyssal Realm like Jiao Dan, it wasn't good for the Abyssal Realm. Yimo was like Jiao Dan, he didn't care. The divine Dao realm was barren, so Yimo wasn't afraid of his revenge. "How about share the things around?" the green-haired Divine Emperor yelled immediately. "Impossible, I'll give you 5 billion god crystals at most. Count that as payment for helping. 10 billion god crystals and we're friends. Next time you teach that fried egg a lesson, I'll help you again," Yimo immediately said. "Deal." the green-haired Divine Emperor said without hesitation and threw a storage ring to Emo. Seeing the green-haired Divine Emperor give it out so easily, Emo immediately knew he was at a loss. There was definitely too many good things in that storage ring, but Emo didn't want to offend this abyssal realm primordial essence too much, so he laughed and said hospitably, "I knew immortal friends Len is a good person. You're welcome to be a guest at my Divine Tao Broken Realm. If I'm free, I'll come with you too." "No need," the green-haired Divine Emperor said, and then tore open space and disappeared. Emo scanned his spirit sense in the storage ring and said happily, "I fled and earned 10 billion God crystals. This is quite a good business." As soon as Emo finished, he felt something in the golden page world. He immediately went in. "Fu Fei, you vindicated Tao?" Emo said Fu Fei's Tao waves, and it was different to ordinary Tao. Fu Fei quickly waved up to Emo and bowed. "Thank you, Master," Fu Fei said again. "I already consider Qian Bei my master. I've never thought that one day I would be able to vindicate Tao through martial arts," Emo said in shock. "Fu Fei, you vindicate Tao through martial arts?" No wonder Fu Fei's Tao waves were different. It was martial Tao. "Yes, Master's wife gave me a yellow middle plum and Master helped me edit the cultivation method. You both gave me huge help," Fu Fei said excitedly. "Great, it seems the Divine Tao sect will have a martial arts branch," Emo said happily. Fu Fei bowed again and said, "Master, my martial arts Tao needs experience. I can't go back to the Divine Tao realm for now. I need to adventure in the void for a while. One day, I will come back to the Divine Tao realm." Hearing this, Emo immediately said, "This is the void. Even though you vindicate Tao, you're only Tao molding Divine Emperor. This power is too lacking to be traveling the void," Fu Fei said pridefully. "Master, you were only Tao molding Divine Emperor before, but you came to the void too and even headed to the void marketplace. Since I've vindicated Tao through martial arts, I need to learn from Master and train myself in life and death to perfect my martial Tao." Emo didn't continue to persuade him. He thought of Luo Qinghe and Qin Xuanji. Which of them didn't train alone in the void to accomplish things? Thinking about this, Emo gave a storage ring to Fu Fei. "Since you want to call me Master, there's nothing much I can give you. The cultivation resources in here are yours." Emo thought of something and gave a jade box to Fu Fei. "Fu Fei, there's a heaven martial void breaking fruit. It was given to me by Vice Sect Leader Qin Xuanji. You can have it too. I hope you make good use of it." Heaven martial void breaking fruit? The only Tao fruit that can help martial cultivators perfect their Tao? Fu Fei asked. "That's right. With this perhaps you can vindicate primordial essence martial divine," Emo said. "If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2203 Dragonchi Whirlpool. Chapter 2203 Dragonchi Whirlpool. Fu Fei quickly pushed it back. "Master, this is too precious, I can't take it." If it was something ordinary, Fu Fei would take it, but clearly he knew how precious the Tao fruit was. Emo smiled. "The value of things depend on the people using it. If it's placed with me, then it's not valuable at all. If you use it, it's extremely beautiful. Since you call me Master, I hope you would one day reach primordial essence martial divine and not make the human race lonely. Perhaps one day I won't stay with the human race, but you can stay in the divine Tao realm." "Yes, I understand," Fu Fei said without hesitation and took the Tao fruit. Emo gave out his space-time boat to Fu Fei. "Take this too." Then, before Fu Fei could reject, he said, "This is something I took from a person called Yan Jiutian. After upgrading it a few times, it has become an extreme-grade flying god artifact. It's suitable for you." Emo waved his hand, preventing Fu Fei from talking, and said, "I'm not even scared of primordial essence divine emperor now. I don't need space-time boat to run. Plus, I need to forge an extreme-grade flying god artifact for myself. I don't really like this flying magic artifact. Your cultivation level is too low, don't reject it. Although he knew that Yemo was comforting him, Fu Fei still knelt down and took the space-time boat. He knew that with his cultivation level, having an extreme-grade flying god artifact would give him many lives. Read more new novels on List Novel. Calming off Fu Fei disappear into the vast void, Yemo took out his extreme-grade flying immortal artifact Blue Moon. Yemo had a few top-grade flying god artifact, but he liked Blue Moon the best. With his cultivation level, he didn't need to worry about being hunted in the void. The reason he gave Fu Fei the flying god artifact was one because he wanted to switch flying magic artifact, but second was that he saw his own persistence on Fu Fei. Standing on the Blue Moon, Yemo took out the void location bead Xiao he gave him. The location bead immediately showed a spot. Yemo knew this spot was probably Guan Yuan Palace. Yemo then took out the void location jade slip that Tang Xiaoyu gave him. He joyfully found that there was an extremely bright mark on it. Yemo believed Tang Xiaoyu wouldn't trick him. In that case, that bright mark was clearly the way to the dragon race. Yemo immediately told Small Ginseng to get Shadowless and Xiaorang out. At the same time, Yemo put away Blue Moon and took out a top-grade flying god artifact. Although the dragon race wasn't far, Blue Moon was still too slow. Moments later, Shadowless and Xiaorang all came to the deck noisily. "Boss, I've been in solitary cultivation for this long and I have no progress." Small Ginseng said, "We found the dragon race, is that true?" Shadowless was almost drooling as he spoke. "Look at you, Xiaorang had reached Immortal Monarch, but you're still at God Tao. We need to be careful going to the dragon race this time. There's a lot of powerful beings there. We need to be careful," Xiaorang quickly said. "The Heaven Pan Dragon Fruit Garden is a bit further away. If we just be careful, the dragon race won't find it," Shadowless quickly said. "That's right, boss, if we just be careful, no one will notice us." Then, Shadowless said to Small Ginseng, "Small Ginseng, you're the weakest. Don't come out. You should stay in the Golden Page world. Xiaorang and I have dragon race chi, it's more suitable for us to go with boss." "Shadowless, who called you out just then, you're ungrateful." Small Ginseng heard this and said. Just when Shadowless still wanted to speak, Yemo said with a headache, "Stop arguing. Once we get to the place, Xiaorang look for the garden. Then, if it's convenient, everyone go together." Since the boss said this, Shadowless could only shut up. Although it was top-grade flying god artifact, Yemo's cultivation level was many times stronger than before, so it didn't flew much slower than the space-time boat. A few days later, the ship entered a region of space. A boundless atmosphere appeared. Yemo immediately slowed the flying ship. This was in the domain of the dragon race. This was definitely the planet the dragon race was at. Yemo thought the dragon race had their own land in the immortal realm before, but after the immortal realm broke, they all moved away. Yemo didn't expect them to find here. Yemo didn't think that the dragon race of the immortal realm found this place. It was definitely because the dragons in the immortal realm didn't have a place to stay, so they went back to their ancestral grounds. Yemo knew this was a good place before even going in. Before the divine Tao realm was broken, it was definitely better than here. "Xiaorang, we're at the dragon race realm. Have a look at how we're going to the Heaven Pen Dragon Fruit Garden?" Yemo called to Xiaorang. Xiaorang stood at the front of the boat excitedly, but after a while of looking, he said sunkenly, "My grandpa told me the Heaven Pen Dragon Fruit Garden was at the intersection of Dragon Chi and Cosmos. There would be Dragon Chi Whirlpool, but I don't see anything." Shadowless laughed. "Xiaorang, I understand much more. What a pity you're so useless. If I knew it, I can definitely find it." Small Ginseng laughed. "Shadowless, now you know. Go find it, we're waiting for you." Shadowless immediately knew he bluffed too much and glared at Shadowless but couldn't rebut. Yemo didn't think Xiaorang was wrong. The reason the two couldn't find it was that Xiaorang's grandpa said the wrong information, but because the two were too weak. However, Yemo's spirit sense was no weaker than primordial essence divine emperor. In just a short while, Yemo noticed a subtle whirlpool. Chi in the cosmos swirled down the whirlpool and disappeared. I know where it is. We can't go in like this. You guys go in the Golden Page world first, Yemo said, and sent them as well as the flying ship in before going towards that whirlpool. The closer Yemo got to the whirlpool, the stronger he felt the chi was. This chi benefited him greatly. Yemo's spirit sense carefully went into that whirlpool. Soon, he realized that the whirlpool sucked cosmic Tao wave chi and turned it into dragon chi. From this, one could see that the Heaven Pan Dragon Fruit Garden was definitely at the end being nourished by the dragon chi. When Yemo's spirit sense reached the bottom of the whirlpool, it was immediately grinded to nothing by a powerful force. No wonder no one comes. Yemo took in a cold breath. This place was subtle indeed, but the deeper you went the stronger it was. If even his spirit sense could be disintegrated, it meant that even if a primordial essence divine emperor went in, he would be killed. Yemo knew that his cultivation level wasn't on par with primordial essence divine emperor yet, but his spirit sense was no weaker than primordial essence divine emperor. This whirlpool also had strong stealth capability. To be able to know this place, Chiu Rang's grandpa must have had high status in the dragon race. Yemo was experienced in formation and didn't care. Other primordial essence divine emperor might be scared of this whirlpool, but Yemo didn't think that way. He just studied the entrance to this formation and threw out a few formation flags before jumping in. Yemo felt the cosmic chi as he jumped in. Then, waves of dragon Tao waves swept over, wanting to make Yemo stop and go into solitary cultivation. Yemo knew now wasn't the time. The whirlpool took him deeper and deeper, and the tearing chi became stronger and stronger. Even with Yemo's divine body plus spirit sense realm barrier, his skin was being torn by this whirlpool. You wouldn't even be able to release defense magic artifact here. Plus, Yemo didn't want to do that. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.